After moving recently, Redditor KeyRecord8141 writes that this started happening again. Just watch. Something appears to be tugging on the Redditor's blanket while they sleep. Is it an entity? Some in the comments think there's a logical explanation. I agree, it's probably not restless leg syndrome. Unless there's a fan in the room, I think something unseen wants to give this Redditor insomnia. Have you ever seen something that actually wasn't there? What if you found out later that what you were seeing was real? Published by Wawa in January of 2022, she says she got home, had partaken in some herbs, and later that night took these videos. This is what she captured. In one video, a shadow peers out from behind a door in the hallway. It looks like a face peeking around from the upper corner. She writes that she was snapping videos to her friends and eventually looked up and caught this head from behind a door in her closet. Thinking she was just tripping, she filmed 2 more videos. When she watched the videos back in the morning, sober, she was even more disturbed by what she captured. The clearer video truly does look like a head peeking out from the doorway, but several photos show there's nothing there or behind the door that would cast that shadow or poke out in any way. Obviously, this was not a hallucination, but what could it be? A famous actress in Indonesia named Leah Wade went viral when she caught these scary moments on her Instagram story. She and her colleagues are all together when Leah sees something that's beyond creepy.
Wow, sumpah demi Allah, itu ada pocong, sumpah demi Allah, sumpah demi Allah, sumpah tadi di situ demi Allah, demi Allah, demi Allah.
Looming over them is a strange shadow figure, an apparition they've never seen. It looks good at first, but here's why I have some doubts about this supposedly real ghost sighting video. The way the apparition is perched perfectly above them makes me think they were generating hype for a movie. The fact that she's an actress makes viral marketing all the more viable of an explanation. They are acting pretty scared and the video is creepy. But keep in mind that they are professionals who get paid to act scared, so doing something like this probably wouldn't be too hard. Even though I'm on the fence with this one, it's still chilling to think about. And as far as a viral video goes, I guess it worked well because it certainly got my attention. Do you think it's real or fake? A tech-savvy phantom is entering the chat. YouTuber Amitav Paranormal Tech YT went live on his YouTube channel and his REM pod activated, so he set up a security camera in the room at night. This is what happened. An invisible entity enters. And not long after this happens, a light turns on and off. This footage is creepy for sure, but is it paranormal? Or can it be explained? I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Amitav captures next. Bugs are awful on their own, but swarms of them. What a nightmare. Published to YouTube in June of 2018, Phelan Fairchild writes that mayflies swarm in from the lake every year and have to be snowplowed off roads and walkways. The video shows Fairchild's front desk absolutely littered with the bugs. At first you think they're a pile of fall leaves or other debris, but upon closer inspection, you can see, as Fairchild points out, hundreds of thousands of bugs all over the place. They're on the deck floor, on the front door, on the window, and on the entire exterior of this poor woman's house. Fairchild notes that the spiders are having a heyday with this. You can't look away from this creepy sight. Fairchild says that it stinks and will be hard to clean up. It's not noted where she lives, but mayflies do appear near fresh water and are signs of a healthy water ecosystem. Swarms like this one can last for up to a month. Seems like a summer holiday abroad is in order. This demonic place will spit you back out again. Published by Toppy in February of 2022, a Paranormal Inn team encountered real demons in this creepy place. They soon hear sounds in the abandoned building and capture voices as they continue their search. Everything is falling apart and is probably unsafe. As they look down an endless dark hallway, they hear what they think is water running. And then this scares them to attention. There's undoubtedly something in here. The question is it human? They won't be able to see it with their light off. When your recording equipment starts going haywire, that's a clear sign that the spirits don't want you here after all. You don't need to see a broom to know this figure is a witch. TikToker The Void 402 shares footage of a levitating witch in the middle of a deserted place. There isn't any information with this video, so I'm not sure where this was captured or by whom, but the closer the vehicle gets to the figure, the harder it is to deny that it's a witch. I'd be driving fast and far away before they end up cursed. Number 5. A YouTuber named Phoenix is alone in the woods trying to record nature sounds for an ASMR channel when everything goes wrong in the scariest way possible. A scary loud scream from deep in the woods has Phoenix running and later wondering what this unknown creature could be. No native animal makes that sound, he says, though for some reason it kind of sounds like a goose or something like that, and there's water nearby before the scream occurs, so a bird could be exactly what this mysterious creature is. Tell me if you know what kind of scream this was, and how much danger was Phoenix really in during this scary moment. Is there a ghost at this military base? Posted to the paranormal subreddit by Multi-Frapser. This creepy sound clip was captured in a base for the Finnish Defense Forces. The Redditor explains that the video was cut out of the clip for security reasons, but that it was recorded near a public road at around 10:30 p.m. in January of 2020. Though it's short, he said the sound continued for 45 minutes until 11:15 p.m. The Redditor writes, "During the time I captured this clip, I kept watch at one of the checkpoints that led to the military base or garrison." He explains that the noise started to get quieter little by little until it vanished. Another military personnel had heard the same noises the night before around midnight. He also describes the base's surroundings. There is a town about 1.5 kilometers away that turns into a veritable ghost town around this time. There are also a central fire station and rural industries nearby, as well as a railroad track, but only one rail line is scheduled to pass there at a specific time and doesn't make this noise. On the opposite side of the base is a small bay with only motor and sailboats that don't usually operate at this time of day or year. Across from the base is a water tower made of concrete, which is where he thinks the noise may be coming from, though he had never heard this sound before. He describes the surroundings that night as not windy. There are many different theories in the comments as to the source of this noise, with some suggesting it could be the mysterious sky trumpets that have been captured all over the world. Others suggest coronal mass ejections in the ionosphere, which have to do with the aurora borealis. It could also be singing ice, which is a sound effect that happens when frozen soil or rock cracks after water seeps in and freezes. Some also think the rhythmic oscillation sounds mechanical or like breathing, but Redditor Paul JS75 believes that the Redditor might be on the right track with the water tower theory writing. Keep in mind, when draining or filling the thing, there also has to be a way for air to get in or out. A lot of air rushing through a passage is going to make noise. What do you think this is? Do you have any other theories? I think no matter what the cause is, this would be terrifying to hear outside at night while being alone. This paranormal investigator's first look into the haunted Bel Air house cemented its title as most haunted house in the U.S. What's more, the Bel Air spirits are aggressive. The following occurred in the seance room.
What the f- Something just pushed me off the chair. What? Something just pushed me off the chair. Are you kidding me? No, and it moved.
The chair also appeared to move on its own after Karen is pushed off of it. The team also believes they captured demonic laughter right before this incident. The basement door kept opening by itself, and they went down to check it out. As they leave the room, you can hear faint wheezing. Listen closely.
I think we started that light for at least on the stairs.
It's that mad at you. I don't want to shut the lights off while you're doing that.
What was that? The team concludes that the spirit heard laughing was a mischief maker en route to the seance room to push Karen off her chair. While the laughter could be explained as one of the crew's wheezing as they walk toward the basement door, the fall off of the chair looks genuine. Either it's legit or well framed and well acted. I think it's real. What do you think? Horrifying surveillance camera footage shows someone getting chased by a much bigger, much scarier person who slings them over their shoulder and drops them into a getaway vehicle. Police are calling this a suspicious incident because it looks more like it could be their last moments on Earth. They are in total fear for their life, so I don't think this is a family dispute. It's something way scarier than that. The Sonora Inn was built in 1896 and is infamously haunted by many a spirit. Thomas writes that he worked night shift there in 2018 as he was setting up for breakfast at 5 a.m. This is what was captured on security camera. Watch the bowl he places on the counter in the top right corner. Let's see it again. Do you believe in this dining room poltergeist? I feel it might be a case of the wet surface of the bowl acting as a lubricant. After all, he did say it was a bowl of ice, but that's just my theory. What do you think? The horrific event that happened at University of Idaho has drawn national and international attention. Redditor 2201992 shared some Fox News footage of the investigation, including an interview with a victim's father. During the interview, something odd happens. Listen closely.
Holy, that's a scream.
It does sound like a scream to me too. Some in the comments say it happens 3 times on the full video posted on the Fox News website. Whether or not this can be explained, considering the interviewer is at the scene of the incident, this terrifying shriek made my hair stand on end.
Holy that's a scream.
A YouTuber named Monster Mike Fishing may have landed his biggest catch yet, and it's nowhere near the ocean. His friend Jacob plugs the pipe so that their target can't escape, but now he has to reach into the murky waters to pull it out by hand. As soon as he announces that he's okay, this happens.
Are you okay? I'm okay. Guys, no! Oh my god!
At 6 minutes and 12 seconds, the snake opens its mouth, and Jacob is barely able to hang on with one hand. He almost drops it and then quickly catches it again before it has a chance to attack. Now Jacob grapples with the snake and they wrestle to a stalemate. He can't hold this position much longer and calls to his friends. I need help! Only when he is pulled out of the sewer do they realize how massive this reptile really is and how much danger he was truly in and how risky this truly was. If you ever question the paranormal, maybe test your skepticism with this video. This footage was captured in the Czech Republic and posted in January of 2012. The uploader writes, "This footage will prove once and for all ghosts exist." The clip shows a snowy road in the darkness of night. A car is stalled in the road as blizzard-like conditions swirl all around. Then in front of it, a semi-transparent figure appears. There is a glow at the top of what would be its head, like a flame. It stops in the middle of the camera's purview before disappearing again. Some in the comments note that the thing, whatever it is moving in the opposite direction as the wind and the snow. Commenter Denise M. Sanders suggests it was a person who was hit while crossing the road and passed away on the scene. Many agree that this looks like legit paranormal activity. What do you think? What is this monster? Demon, werewolf, zombie? This YouTube team is on the hunt to find out, but in the process, they become the hunted. The monster jumps out at them from the wilderness. They flee, but one of the team is soon grabbed. They somehow manage to get away again, but not for long. After battling with the monster, they flee once more. That's when they come across this ritual site. They examine the pentagram. But as they do, one of the crew is nearly pulled backward through a window, and moments later, the animal's skull is on fire.
O que foi, cara, que você viu aqui, mano? Tu puxou aí, velho. Mano do céu, o que é aquilo ali?
As the skull blazes, a horned monster returns.
Ali, mano, de novo, mano. Olha lá, cara. Sai. Puta, eu.
It's not clear if this is the same monster they encountered before, but it seems to me they are surrounded by a team of rogue mutants. While this is obviously CGI work, I'm still afraid that these creatures are going to haunt my dreams. A YouTuber named Advil thinks he is alone until he hears voices off in the distance. He soon finds himself drawn to the stairs leading down into the basement for reasons he cannot explain. Something just feels out of place down there, but he isn't sure what. He calls out and gets an incredibly strange and eerie reply from the darkness below. Maybe if you are wearing headphones, you can tell me what is being said here. It almost sounds like they are whispering, "He's here."
Hello?
Moments later, Advil receives an undeniable confirmation that something is in the house with him. A dark figure somehow stands out against the pitch black background as it crosses the doorway. It makes no attempt to go up the steps and reveal its true form. If this is real, then whatever is down there apparently wants to stay down there, and possibly one day take Advil with him. Many places claim to be the most haunted, but this one truly earns the title. YouTube team Twin Paranormal spends a night at one of the most haunted houses in America, the Basilica Axe Murder House. When they speak to the spirits, they hear some movement.
We also heard stories about the evil entity who was here. We hear that there's a portal that leads to the Sally house. If you are here, we are calling upon you. What?
Oh no. Someone just ran around upstairs. No, I heard that, bro.
Then they receive a name.
Yeah, I'm already. With a K?
Yeah. No.
One of the names.
Catherine?
Dude, I just got Catherine out of my device.
Oh my.
I legit just got Catherine out of my device. I cannot see it.
Next, they receive this terrifying warning.
I'm here to warn you. Catherine, is that you? Probably.
Huh?
Music box. Catherine.
They're hearing noises and receiving strange messages from the beyond.
Show yourself. All these noises are coming from upstairs.
Literally.
What do you guys? Stranger. That's what that man was. Or us.
While upstairs, River sees something out of the corner of his eye, and it freaks him out.
Guys. Caution. Guys. What? I swear to God, I just saw something right here. No. Dude, you heard that? Yes, something just moved away.
Here it is again.
Did you guys just hear that? Yeah.
Shortly after, a series of creepy sounds and messages leaves Twin Paranormal reeling.
A group of us.
Did you hear that?
What?
Nobody else heard that?
He's in the doll.
He's in the doll! What the He's in the doll! Oh,
Irish.
8 spirits.
They receive confirmation that the person who took all these lives with an axe is in the doll. So I think they have only one option now. Burn that doll to ash. Number 20. This old VHS footage was taken by construction workers during an interior renovation project in Corpus Christi, Texas. It's daytime and well lit, and the building still has a constant eerie vibe. They claim to have seen the ghost of a girl walking across the property, and the air grew cold around them, even though they are in the south. One of them records this mysterious noise coming from the hallway. It sounds like a moan from behind. Take a listen. He calls out for his friend Tom and picks up a strange whispering noise as he turns.
Hey, Tom!
He pauses outside of an especially dark room and feels watched by a presence within, a force that strips him of his bravery and leaves him small and vulnerable. He sees movements and bolts down the hall. I think I can see the outline of something in the corner here when the room is brightened. Could this be the ghost girl they were talking about? He decides to take one last look in the room and cautiously peeks inside. Rushing footsteps come from within and send him screaming off the job site. Abnormal Alabama is all about discussing the weirdest and scariest things imaginable, and this is probably one of their most frightening videos. These creepy dolls are said to be possessed by something paranormal according to their owner, Kevin Kane, the man in the white shirt, and they aren't afraid to show it. When the host is busy talking about his own bizarre experiences with the haunted dolls, the creepy dolls provide the best paranormal evidence right in front of the camera.
They had all kinds of dolls that were haunted, were supposedly haunted. They had death masks. They actually had a the cap they would put.
Not only are the creepy dolls caught on tape moving, which is scary enough, but if you look closely, you'll see one doll moves its eyes first. Its eyelids briefly twitch before the doll moves by itself. I also wanted to point out as a counterpoint that the dolls could be falling over because of how they were positioned. At 20 seconds, Kevin leans back and the other guest moves his laptop, so maybe they bumped the table and accidentally made it look like the dolls were haunted and moving on their own. Or maybe not. A terrible demon has set up shop in this house, and Dennis from Dark Ghost Paranormal is about to face its wrath. The demon first makes its presence known in the wardrobe. With his nerves on edge, Dennis asks the demon to reveal himself.
Ответь мне, кто ты?
Then things get real creepy.
How's that? I'm being. Let me do that.
Moments later, the demon's face appears on Dennis's camera, after which this happens. The demon has definitely been released, and if I were Dennis, I'd be careful. It seems like this one means business. Redditor Doodle Poot isn't quite sure if this is paranormal or not. Posted to the Ghosts subreddit, this ring footage captures something seriously sinister. Listen closely. Do you hear them too? Some in the comments think there's a demon at the door, others think it's wind or distant traffic. This one's a toss-up for me. It sounds too much like breathing to discount it. A Reddit user named Addison W has posted one of the creepiest things ever caught on Doorbell Cam to the Chills Narrator subreddit. A large, scary man bikes up to their front door and has this to say.
I'm sorry. Looked in one day and saw you. Oh God, I can't stop.
The creepy man has his face covered and a light on his head that could be used to better see into people's windows. I don't know which is creepier, the fact that he has apparently been looking into the windows of random people's homes, or the fact that he calmly confesses it to them later into their doorbell cameras. At any rate, I really hope this person is just a random stranger with a dark sense of humor and not somebody who has developed an obsession. Unfortunately, I think the chances are very high that this is somebody who is extremely messed up and cannot help themselves. Hopefully the police find him before any of his compulsions grow even worse.
I'm sorry. Looked in one day and saw you. Oh God, I can't stop.
This ghost is an art thief. Jeff believes he's captured poltergeist activity on camera. I'll let him explain.
You might say poltergeist activity. We've been having a lot of problems here at the house. Things moving. I've had a kitchen table dragged from my dining room into my kitchen. Never can get it on camera. Well, I finally got...
The proof is in the details. Watch the painting to the left carefully.
And there it goes. Nothing near it, nobody. I was in the back room, actually on the phone with my wife at the time, and yeah, you'll see that an orb go through there.
The painting falls slightly after hanging in this spot unmoved for a decade. While I'd like to see additional footage of the poltergeist activity in this home, this is certainly a convincing start. The next time you shower, don't look up. Published by Tia Bassi in March of 2022, this creepy video shows what could be the hair in your drain come to life. The clip shows a shower curtain pulled to the side, while up in the corner near the ceiling is this extraterrestrial-like critter. It looks spidery, but with even more legs than usual. It somehow also looks like a great pile of tangled hair. What do you think this is? I think it's time to throw the whole house away. Have you ever gotten physically ill from watching paranormal footage? Redditor Minimum Session 4039 has, and this is the piece that made them sick.
I've been doing this all morning and I don't have time for this today. Stop. Hey buddy, I got too much going on. You gotta cut it out. Oh. Okay.
After setting the camera down, the activity only gets creepier.
I asked you gotta go or you gotta come downstairs or something. Wherever you're gonna go, you gotta go. Calm down.
You can see a distinct shadow figure standing halfway down the stairs. This is clearly the culprit who's opening and shutting the door.
He's okay. Please, not today. Just, holy cow.
There is definitely a ghost that likes mischief. I don't think this is at the level of burn the house down yet, but I would be keeping an eye on this playful phantom. This graveyard in Michigan defies the laws of gravity and replaces them with the laws of the paranormal. There is a specific tree at the bottom of a hill that many locals believe is haunted. You can put your car into neutral at the top of the hill and the car will roll down as normal. Here's a quick demonstration.
And now, as you can see, with my foot off the pedal and the car in neutral, we're rolling downhill. That is what you would expect.
But when you pull up to the cursed tree and put your car in neutral, this is what will happen each and every time.
We're rolling backwards up the hill. My feet are off the pedal. Car is still in neutral.
A strange force appears to be causing this man's car to roll backwards and climb a semi-steep inclination. Not only that, but I think I hear a strange voice in the video too. Listen to this and tell me if you hear someone say something that sounds like the name Sarah. When two strangers pull up to your boat on the Nile, you have to assume the worst. This area is known for pirates. They cast a line and tie themselves to the ship in preparation to board.
Oh dear Lord.
The one in white reaches down and then back turned, stands up while holding something.
Alright guys, look for art. Does anyone see an in there?
He reaches back into his pocket and pulls out nothing but towels. As it turns out, this area is full of traveling salesmen too, even at sea. Still, I think they probably should have ran for help as soon as they thought these could be pirates, instead of recording in plain sight and making themselves an easy target. The G-Team paranormal investigators are at it again, returning to the highly paranormal medical center. The paranormal activity that occurs in this video is sure to scare you silly. Published to YouTube in April of 2020, the team writes, "We chose this place due to the amount of paranormal activity we always get here, and lo and behold, they were waiting for us. Hold on to your hats, because this one's a wild ride." Patty leads the pack, and the paranormal activity that occurs in the center is off to the races from the get-go. As the crew is doing their intro, something in the next room falls to the floor.
Yeah. Oh. Oh my God.
What was that?
When they go to investigate, they claim that as soon as they walked into the room, it grew extremely cold. Jody screams, saying he felt like something touched him. He said something got his neck, and Patty points out that a cord hanging from the ceiling in the middle of the room is moving. Throughout the entire video, there are odd noises here and there. Sometimes they're subtle, other times they're distinct.
Is that doctor?
That was crazy. Around 10 minutes 25 seconds, Jody is trying to communicate with the presence in the medical center, asking it to tap 3 times.
When that came out,
You hear that?
Although it does not comply, a shadow falls across the room, and another loud bang is heard in the next room.
Oh, God.
All this frightening activity begs the question, what kind of medical procedures went on here? There is more to fear in the woods, published to YouTube in October of 2007 by Dennis Daunt. This video purports to show paranormal activity in the forest outside of Dudley Town. In the forest, a man is heard dialing up a friend to let him know that he's seeing some creature in the forest again, and he's going to try and catch it on video. He runs upstairs from the sound of it to catch it from a better vantage point. That's when, faintly, at the forest's edge, you can see a shadow pass in front of the trees in a quick flick. Some in the comments think it's a horse, but according to many others, Dudley Town is a cursed place. YouTuber TopsX4 warns others, stay out of Dudley Town, it's a dangerous and evil place. When you get into the town, there is no sound, not even a bird, it's like you're in a vacuum. Bad things happen here. DGS 104 also claims that his friend's car was trashed by spirits there. Well, Dave Harley agrees that Dudley Town is absolutely no joke, adding that many are said to have passed away in the coal mines, while other residents simply went insane. With such accounts and this video, I'm convinced to never visit. While hiking through the Great Smoky Mountains in North Carolina, YouTuber Mr. Backyard Birding hears this bizarre roar. It sounds almost mechanical, but the YouTuber says it is the sound of a mythical, once extinct giant creature who is said to roam the mountains. The sound is heard repeatedly as the YouTuber continues through the forest. While some are mystified, others are sure this sound is not mythical but rather common. Having listened to some bull elk calls, I have to agree, but if I didn't know any better, this would shake me to my core. Chris from YouTube channel sees Crazy Crossroads is sent packing from this abandoned restaurant. He first hears a strange noise in the kitchen.
Sounds like...
He believes it could be residual noise from passing vehicles on the road. It almost sounds like a beehive swarming to me, but then he hears what he thinks sounds like voices.
I want to say that it sounds like a couple of different voices.
I'm not catching that, but I do hear the road noise, which is an eerie wail. He hears the sound again.
The phonic app's not working. I hope you guys guys are I hope this is picking that up. I mean, that's clear as day.
Well, I'm not sure the mic is capturing what he's hearing. It does capture this next voice, and it's pure evil. I don't blame Chris for leaving at this point. If I heard that, I'd be out of there too. A YouTuber named Mark Grillo catches a complete and total stranger poking around his front porch for no apparent reason. She doesn't even try to knock or anything. Take a look at what she's carrying here and tell me what you think is inside. It almost looks like it could be a cardboard container from a restaurant or something, but I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, you can't stand. Yeah, I can't see in.
You can't see in, the woman says twice while trying to peer through a window. Two other people stand at the bottom of the steps waiting for her, and they all walk off together. Exactly what this woman is trying to see is unknown, but it's definitely creepy how she struts around like she owns the place. The group seems to be wearing nice clothes, and I doubt she is trying to break in, especially since her hands are full, which only makes this video all the more bizarre. Overall, I have no idea what these strangers could possibly want, or why they thought this was a socially acceptable thing to do. A YouTuber named Shannon Griffin recorded this short scene as part of an amateur film he was working on. One of his friends, Rachel, goes into the alley and the scene ends. It seems simple enough, but look at the bottom left for a weird surprise. This swaying shadow is not supposed to be part of the shot. Later, when Shannon was editing the footage, he was terrified by the strange discovery because nobody was standing off camera there. It's not a tree in the wind because these plants in the foreground don't move at all, while this shadow figure sways wildly. The only explanation I have, assuming that they are telling the truth to begin with, is maybe some nosy neighbor was watching them from a window and casts their shadow on the sidewalk below, but the way the shadow moves is so odd that I don't think this is it at all, so maybe it was paranormal. YouTuber named Tracy is recording a video at the Hedingham Castle in England while on vacation with her husband. The voices and footsteps of other visitors easily carry throughout the castle, but it's just good acoustics, and they are not nearly as close as they sound. Anyway, look what happens while Tracy is standing motionless next to her husband in a large room all by themselves.
Sure, Buffy, I just saw a shadow walk across the wall.
A shadow clearly passes across the wall in front of them, but as Tracy pans the room, you can see that no one else is present. None of the windows or entrances completely line up, yet the shadow looks very human in nature and appears to be coming from directly behind them. When you reach the end of the road, you better just turn around, otherwise this can happen. Posted by TikToker Sharpski. The TikToker may have escaped something life-ending at the end of the road. In the clip, Sharpski is traveling down a dirt road in a field at night. As the group drives on, they see a group aligned in a formation at the end of the field. They say the figures look like they have heads. They conclude that they are people and urge the driver to turn around. If they are people, what are they doing at the edge of a forest at night? Well, some in the comments, like TikToker Chris Michael, think these are simply dual targets at an open range. Others require further proof. Neen writes, "Keep driving. I want to see from the safe distance of my phone." But since the cameraman wouldn't have that luxury, I'm not sure if he'd be willing to risk it all for us to find out what's really happening here. YouTube team HD Adam Paranormal finds themselves crying from fear in this mysterious abandoned village. That's because it's not totally abandoned. In the darkness of this derelict hut, they start to hear noises.
Kalk gidelim, kalk gidelim.
Ne oldu?
Kalk gidelim.
Ne oldu?
Kalk gidelim lütfen, kalk gidelim bak. Deprem oluyordu ya, depremin farkında mısın?
They ask the spirit to prove its presence.
Burada olduğunu kanıtla. Cin!
With the light back on, the presence continues to shake the room. When they ask it to move the door, the spirit complies.
Önümüzdeki kapıyı hareket ettirebilir misin? Jeep! Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Kapıya doğru bak. Kapıya doğru bak.
The team thinks the entity playing around with them is a genie. I think, genie or not, whatever is here will soon be done playing. Number 10. A YouTuber named The Inception of Yara Phoenix captures a scary moment on camera while exploring India. While doing some kind of construction work, a member of this crew holds a spike in place while another swings a heavy hammer a few feet from his head. The man is leaning away as far as he can, but with no helmet and no other kind of protection, not even a barrier to keep pedestrians from walking into him. It really does seem like a matter of time before something really scary happens. Take a listen for yourself.
And he's one miss and you're...
Those are some heavy blows that there would be no recovering from if a mistake were to happen. I can only imagine how scary it would be to be working in that position, putting your life in the hands of somebody else who you probably barely know, hearing the sound of the hammer coming so close over and over again. This scary moment caught on tape is no doubt 100% real, and this is exactly what makes it so terrifying. A video has gone viral all throughout Indonesia because it's so scary. According to the uploader, Ari Abdul Rohim, a jinn is about to gain possession over an innocent man. An unseen force pulls his foot and then sits him up. It might be acting, but if so, he's really good. He appears to go into a meditative trance to calm himself down. It appears to work, or maybe the jinn has already moved to new prey. I will admit that this is some of the best evidence I've seen that possessions can be transmitted just by being in the same room. I want to believe they're acting, but it's hard to fake that level of anguish and fear. So either this video is paranormal or a demonstration of how fear is contagious. This tunnel in Blue Ash, Ohio is steeped in local lore, and none of it is good. Apparently, a cult once used this maze of sewer passages to hold all sorts of rituals and sacrifices. This makes a YouTuber named The Fam want to explore the area with his friends, though now I'm sure he wishes he hadn't. Everything starts out fine at first, but soon the Fam claims to feel more and more sick as he draws closer to the infamous altar room, which is where most of the sacrifices were supposedly made. Something makes him have a panic attack, and he claims to have felt ill for a long time after making this video. It's impossible to tell if he really is being affected by spirits, or if he simply contracts a sickness from being in the sewer, or if it's his nerves getting the better of him. I'll let you decide for yourself. Here's a clip of him at the beginning of the video.
Alright guys, I'm gonna keep on going. I gotta see if we can find this altar room. I'm not looking forward to finding it really.
Feeling normal. And here's his reaction after discovering the sacrificial altar room.
I'm having a panic attack. You're having? I did a couple minutes ago.
Do you think he really is getting sick from being in the presence of pure evil? This video from Japan raises some big questions, and the biggest of all is who is the stranger in the house with this man? This video is aptly titled, "Is it following him?" And that question really needs an answer. This homeowner, who I presume is recording after mysterious events kept happening in his home, demonstrates what happens when he turns the lights off. Did you notice the human-shaped silhouette in the room with him? And this isn't just a one-off event. Whatever this is follows him in each room he goes, and it's the same size silhouette there each time. Is this a stalker, a ghost, or both? Whatever the case may be, the question of is it following him can be answered, and that answer is a definite yes. I think it's time to get out of that home while there's still time. Be sure to check out Fourth Wall's channel, and they have English subtitles. A YouTuber named Kelsey Davies is investigating a haunted house in a neighborhood in California with a particularly nefarious history. After setting up a flashlight in the middle of an otherwise empty room, Kelsey and her team discover an oddly shaped anomaly traveling clockwise. Nothing is dangling above them to reflect light, so like them, I have no idea what this is, but I'm open to your guesses.
It's moving, its shape isn't shifting.
Yeah, this thing's been moving for like a long time. We don't know what it is.
At 1 minute and 55 seconds, Kelsey claims that the object turned into the outline of a face. I think it still looks the same as before, but tell me if you can see what she means.
Maybe I like see outlines of it. Like it looks like a head. Oh my god, you can see it's like a body.
The scariest things are unseen. Redditor Fire from Thaumaturgy shares this video of footsteps in a stairwell, only there's no one there. The footsteps seem to be far away at first, but then come all too close, but some Redditors think it's a hoax. While I also agree that the footsteps sound like they're coming from above and are running in place, this could still be without the Redditor's knowledge or collaboration, which is seriously creepy. In fact, the Redditor claims he was walking down 18 flights of stairs from the top and didn't hear anyone entering the stairwell behind him. They also say they felt a gust of cold air and have a history of encounters with paranormal activity, all of which makes me lean towards this video being legitimate. What do you think? 9 out of 10 people do not immediately notice what's wrong with this handshake, so allow me to show you where to look. Trust me, you'll be sorry that I did.
Give me your hand.
I like cake, I just don't like the icing on it.
That's my main.
This is someone's right hand, and yet they're on the left side. Also, look at their fingernails. They're facing the wrong way. How can this be? The answer isn't pretty. The condition is called hypermobility. Though the phrase double-jointed is commonly used, it's mostly genetic, meaning you are either born with this unusually large range of movement or not. Only 20% of people have it, though typically not to this degree, and there's no way for the rest of us to gain this talent, if you want to call it that, so don't even try to practice. Like most people, watching this video makes me feel like my fingers are going to fall off. Tell me if you would be able to shake the hand of someone with hypermobility while they were doing this. I mean, it's creepy, but also kind of cool. So years ago, I analyzed a creepy video of a mysterious handprint found in this family's haunted home in a hard-to-reach area really high up in the corner above the stairs. Years later, their house still appears to be haunted as ever.
This wall has since been painted, and the exact same print is still there.
Okay, so the wall does in fact look to be painted a different color. The original video has a yellow wall and now it's gray. It's the same distance from the ceiling and has the same impossibly long fingers extending from an oblong palm, more like the paw print of a creature than that of a human. So I guess the work of a demon is not out of the question. With that said, I guess they could have stenciled the handprint and recreated it over the new paint job, but that seems like a lot of work and there should be some mistakes. The handprint in the two videos looks nearly identical to me, and therefore I think this follow-up video is probably paranormal, and judging from their evidence, it looks like this paranormal entity, ghost, demon, whatever you want to call it, is not going to stop haunting their home anytime soon. YouTuber NM Ghost Hunter shares a series of videos in which he's documented the poltergeist activity happening in his home. Let's take a look. This first piece of footage occurred on February 5th, 2022. This happens for a full minute, while in another room this happens. In a second clip, captured on February 21st, the poltergeist strategically destroys his kitchen. In a third clip, captured on the 10th of August, the poltergeist was making a lot of noise in the garage, so the YouTuber grabbed his camera. This is what he captured. And this is the footage he captured on his handheld camera.
Are you evil? Is that a yes or a no? If you're evil, flick the light again. Okay. Whoa.
After this, he went back inside, but left one camera in the garage filming. It captured this. And lastly, on November 12th, he captured some activity near the living room. Watch the bookshelf. Here it is from another angle. This all certainly looks alarming to me. I think this is more than enough evidence to call in the Ghostbusters. A gigantic streak of lightning in Paducah, Kentucky was so large that it was caught by two different police dash cams. The first police car was far away, and its dash cam footage shows just how long this massive lightning bolt was, and the second police car was much, much closer.
If you could go back through it. Well, two reasons. One, it would be...
The lightning bolt directly hit a nearby residence. Fortunately, everyone inside was alright, but this particular officer will never forget how close he came to being charred alive. A watchman is sleeping in his chair at around 1 in the morning when a special visitor wakes him up with a racket. Published by Wokan High Official in March of 2022, the watchman enters the road and finds nothing. After zoning out again, something drops into his lap from the sky. Again, he looks for the culprit but finds nothing. Getting some more shut-eye, the motorcycle now starts to move on its own, and then the cane in his hands is kicked out from under him. When a distraction in the bushes wakes him yet again, he checks it out, but again returns to sleep. That's when the woman in white enters the frame. She walks eerily past, down the road, one arm outstretched to hold up her robe. She then re-enters, approaching the sleeping man. She sits and watches him a moment before vanishing. One of his legs is kicked out from under him. He ends up on the ground. Is this night watchman destined to be up all night? It certainly seems like this lady in white doesn't want him to sleep. A group of neighborhood kids from Algeria decide to rush the local haunted house, reasoning that the ghost inside can't get them all. Someone tell me what's going on here. I think they might be nervous and start to pray.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. أعوذ بالله من كلمات وش ديك؟ اصبر وراه.
Their words seem to have successfully riled up something as they gather excitedly to see what's behind this wall.
اصبر ما اشوف وش كاين هي راه كاين حاجه من راه جابني ربي قشت بيله.
You'll never believe the weird things they've caught on tape.
وش كاين هي؟
This still image taken at 3 minutes and 56 seconds shows at best the outline of a shadow figure watching them as they leave. This is some of the best paranormal evidence caught on tape that I've seen in a while. The mysterious figure is standing directly under a window and yet is still covered in darkness. A person cautiously follows a winding road at night using only the light on their phone to guide them. They sense danger on the right and look over. Nothing is there, but their feeling of being watched does not go away, so they look over again, and that's when they make contact. A short creature with a portly body atop long legs does its best to escape the flashlight. At 1 minute and 36 seconds, we see that the overall gray coloring of the creature when under the light does match the rest of the background remarkably well. There's no obvious blurring around the edges of the creature either, which indicates that this may in fact be authentic, unedited footage. What is the #1 destination to dispose of an object that's ended a life? In a river, of course. Posted to TikTok by Julian Stevens. This scary video leaves us wondering if that's exactly what happened here. The TikToker spotted a blade at the bottom of the waterway. Zooming in, you can see it's clearly a large kitchen blade. Zooming out again, you can see it's clearly in the middle of a creepy wooded area. Many in the comments suggest calling the cops. That seems like a fair assessment to me. A family in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania sees something that is so incredible that they have to stop what they are doing and start recording.
There's another spark. You see what I'm saying? I need to take a picture. And what is that? Tree? No. Right there. See it? Uh-huh.
Strange, shimmering spots appear out of nowhere and seem to float above the meadow and nearby forest floor. For a moment, they think that it could be other people, but whatever they are seeing is floating around everywhere, even in the trees. Many people who watch this video think that these are ghostly soldiers from the Civil War marching in single file lines, just like they did on the day of their demise. Others think that this could be flashlights from hikers, though this really doesn't look like a flashlight to me. I would definitely like to hear what you think is causing this scenario. At over 160 years old, the May Stringer House is now known as the Hernando Heritage Museum, but it is best known as one of the most haunted houses in Florida. YouTube team Crossing Art Paranormal investigate the historic home and capture some poltergeist activity while wearing a back body cam. Is Mr. Nasty flipping through the directory? The team writes that the directory is made of metal with paper inserts and is therefore too heavy to be moved by air currents. It looks to me like Mr. Nasty is searching for a way to curse us all. Number 18. There is a haunted painting somewhere in this art gallery in Birmingham, UK. The only problem is Ted Whitehall isn't sure which painting it is, so he calls a pastor to hold an exorcism and cleanse every last one of them. Something demonic is determined not to let that happen.
Take it from this place. It has no place here, Lord. I cast this out in the name, and I bind it in the mighty...
An angry ghost keeps slamming the door. It hates whenever the pastor talks about being cast out and keeps doing its best to interrupt him.
I cast you out and bind you in the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. In the name of...
Persistent pastor pushes aside his fear and fires off the final words. You can hear the defeated spirit walk away.
Cast it into the pit, Lord, and bind it forever. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus.
That could just be somebody off camera walking away, so let's turn our attention towards the chair, which Ted says is made of cast iron. Can anybody tell me if this is really made out of cast iron? If so, it should weigh a ton and be virtually impossible to move. To call this paranormal activity would be an understatement. This is one powerful painting. Spooky Gotham goes exploring an abandoned factory building in India. Because it's rumored to be the source of much paranormal activity according to local gossip.
Lady voice.
Let's take a look at some of the ultra creepy moments they've caught on tape and see if they're really paranormal.
Guys,
Leaving the building does not solve their fears. They appear to be arguing about whether or not there's a paranormal mist in the shape of a figure when more scary things are caught on camera. Watch for the yellow ghost orb at 31 minutes and 47 seconds.
Hello?
Freaky, right? He and his team know they have to press the paranormal investigation forward and keep exploring the abandoned factory, but their courage doesn't last for long. They run off screaming without ever getting a chance to see what was following so close behind. But wait, at 16 minutes and 32 seconds, they appear to have caught a phantom apparition on camera, a scary man who is not part of the ghost hunting group in the slightest. They think it's a scary face looking back at them, but it could just be a piece of rotting drywall shaped like one. Either way, I'd say this abandoned factory building in India is haunted by something paranormal, and that it's probably too spooky to keep making ghost hunting videos there anymore. Most Haunted House in Texas has many secrets, and YouTube team Nick and Ryan are here to find them. As they're reading through Hill House's mysteries, they hear something.
Open the closet. This is one of the portals the spirits enter through. Mariah? Hello? Where?
Later, they enter the most haunted part of the house, and things devolve from there.
Is there anyone down here? Oh, whoa. What happened? Whoa.
Sahuma, did you hear that?
Yeah. I heard that.
Touch my leg. I swear to They said your dog's name, bro.
As Nick feels like he bumped into something in the room, the spirit box says his dog's name, then several devices go off at once.
Please don't.
I don't know what this. I'm literally paralyzed. Obi, is this you? What is going on?
Are the spirits here trying to communicate with the team? It seems like there's plenty of evidence to me. They're definitely present, but what they'd like to say is yet unclear. Number 6. This ghost-filled house is home to some really freaky phantoms. YouTuber Dennis from Dark Life faces off with them in this scary video. As Dennis explores a back room, this happens on the Steadicam in the kitchen. Dennis is explaining where he sets up the cameras when Paranormal Activity unfolds.
Сейчас чуть попозже еще.
After this earthquake-like presence, Dennis does an EGF session and the spirits are pleading.
Кто вы?
They then send him this ominous warning. Dennis still dares to enter the basement after his remote control car gets stuck. He descends to retrieve it. That's when he hears this. Getting hold of the car, he starts to head up when he spots what appears to be a bone. Is it human? After crawling back out of there, Dennis attempts to replace the floorboards. That's when this happens. When he ducks back under, he hears the rasping sound again. If you were waiting for a jump scare to pop out of that hole, don't worry, it doesn't. Whatever is down there remains, and in my opinion, its never-ending presence there is way scarier than a jump scare. Number 12. This scary doorbell video is from the Chills Narrator subreddit, and it was posted by Tay Harley Quinn. They say their camera has never acted weird before, but for some reason this mysterious shadow figure, transparent and paranormal, is traveling at a high rate of speed behind a truck at random. Some people say this is a person on a bike, while others say it's somebody running, but most agree that this video is paranormal from the looks of it. A small number of people say that this is a glitch, but fail to go into much explanation, even though I would like to hear more. Until then, I think this could be a real ghost sighting caught on home security camera. Described by Redditor Yeezus_C as footage of something. I'm going to play you this video so you can see what that something is. Pulled from security footage, an office chair is captured spinning on its own, and toward the end of the clip, it makes a final turn. Those in the comments have several theories. Well, I think it could be any one of these theories. I wouldn't rule out a passed away office worker with an axe to grind. I can picture a horror movie about it already. While exploring an abandoned place, this paranormal crew found a demonic doll. What followed next was shocking. Published by Toppy in December of 2021, Sergey takes this rickety staircase into the attic where he finds this creepy doll. After handing the doll to Nastia, they decide to take it with them. Sergey says they sat in the haunted home for 15 minutes and heard noises that were unfortunately not recorded. It's unclear if their cameras malfunctioned or what went on, but they have decided to try and communicate with the spirits through the doll. After the doll tells them let's play, the pair decide to pack it up and head home. But before they do, this happens. Is this doll truly possessed? Or was it just exorcised of its demons? Submitted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by A Growing Lotus, filmed in the Inland Empire in Southern California, this Redditor suspects these lights are a part of an unidentified flying object. Let's watch their submission and see what they're talking about.
Thank you. Is there 3 of them? Well, that's like 3. Where do you sit?
There's a button. Mom, stars. Keep the headlines.
Keep recording it, because that is weird. And the way they're moving, like up and down, airplanes don't do that. Airplanes don't move up and down like that.
And it's not a drone either.
What? The other one's kind of disappearing.
There was certainly some debate about this video in the comments. Adventurous Ad 2736 wondered if they were paper lanterns, to which the uploader responded saying, they move too fast up and down and I don't think paper lanterns can do that. And Faded Claws YT wrote, it's probably just those drones people use for light shows and stuff, to which the uploader responded saying, they didn't look like drones in person, but who knows, they were extremely bright, you can't tell in the video unfortunately, and they disappeared eventually. So which side are you on here? Paper lanterns, drones, or a legit unidentified flying object? Let me know in the comments.
I thought I was hallucinating at first.
And the other one's like already
disappearing. I'm having like a really weird deja vu feeling.
Just go wait now.
But the other one's kind of disappearing. Did they just disappear?
There's one right there. There's 2 on that side.
This incident shows that even streamers' homes can be haunted. Twitch streamer Justa Minx is chatting with her fellow influencers, Aviva Sophia and Nico Lull, when in the midst of discussion, the wheelchair in the corner behind her moves unexpectedly. Nico Lull is the first to notice, while Aviva Sophia confirms that she saw it move too. Justa Minx denies that it moved, but it was behind her, so she couldn't have seen it. A second clip reveals further proof that Justa Minx's home is haunted. As she's talking about TikTok with her followers, a distinct silhouette flashes into view on the right. This time she sees it out of the corner of her eye. She asks her viewers if they saw it too. Many in the comments think it's a black cat, but can a cat move a wheelchair? 1 strange happening is enough. 2 is too much to explain away. This demolition house of horror has these urban explorers walking on eggshells. Published to YouTube by Urban Ghosts Urban Exploration in May of 2021, Joe and Chris work their way through a pair of houses being torn down for demolition. Joe says they were contacted by the workers who were cleaning the houses out and were told they felt a presence here. And you'll definitely feel it too as you watch the video. Whatever is in these houses is making its presence known through whispers. As the explorers wander into the bathroom, you can hear incoherent whispering. A moment later, a man's voice says yeah when asked if the spirits in the house will talk to them.
Will you talk to us? Are there spirits here?
Later, more whispering is heard.
May give us some clues.
And later again. Indiscernible what the voice or voices are saying. What is distinctly heard, however, is a growl that happens when Joe is positioning the camera down a staircase. What do you think is hanging around these demolition houses, and what will they do when their homes are destroyed? While filming the Milky Way above, YouTuber Homestead How captured an unidentified flying object above his house. Let's take a look.
Okay, I'll just show it on screen. Here's
Spencer!
Here's number one. Katie, watch.
You need to clean your screen.
Yeah, I
Keep going.
do. What is that? I swear to not edit that. This photo isn't edited at all.
That does look like an unidentified flying object to me. They crop it to zero in.
If nothing else, this is a cool shot. You can see the house and the stars. Okay.
Oh, what the heck? Oh my gosh! There's little lights! There's little lights!
I'll show this on the screen too. Here, I'm gonna take a screenshot.
A second shot is even clearer, and YouTube commenters are blown away by it.
That's a helicopter?
That's what it
is. That a helicopter?
little seeds.
Look, you can see stars behind it. If this was a helicopter, wouldn't there be like a thing here and this and then a propeller?
And then a person? Because this camera zooms in far and you can
see a window here?
Look.
I agree with Snakebite. That's one of the clearest unidentified flying object pics I've ever seen. In my opinion, it couldn't be anything but an unidentified flying object. This witch is up to no good. Published by Zona Paranormal Veracruz in December of 2021. This scary video starts with a flash. While in this graveyard, the man appears to have happened upon a ritual being performed.
Por Dios, no puedo prender la linterna, no puedo prender nada.
A figure is speaking and making this fire come to life. Later, amongst the mausoleums, the man hears that strange voice again in the darkness. Followed shortly by a high-pitched, sing-song voice. The man then falls forward hard, pushed by an unseen force. He sees a ghostly figure from a distance approaching him. And then it's too close for comfort. The fire is blazing again, and upon approaching the fading flames, the cameraman sees a witchy woman hunched over departing.
Señora, solo vengo a explorar, no vengo a hacer daño. Allá adentro una sombra, allá adentro una sombra, allá adentro.
What sort of ritual was this witch performing? This cameraman might find out in his days to come. This woman claims that she would go to bed at night only to be woken up by strange noises and left with the unshakable feeling that she was not alone. When she sets up a camera to record some evidence, she finds this bizarre footage the next day. Imagine watching yourself trying to sleep while this figure haunts your dreams. At one point, the supposed phantom appears to be lunging at her. She says that she believes she was still awake during this point and remembers seeing nothing. Only when the contrast on the video was enhanced did anything become visible. Unidentified flying devices do exist, posted to the Very Spooky Video subreddit by Yuli Bon. This strange ghostly robot figure was captured on film in Peru. The figure is blue and glowing. It illuminates the night but dims slightly as cars pass on the highway beyond, and as it appears to drift further into the distance, Redditor Planet Nile suggests that it's a costume writing. When the brightly lit trucks pass behind it, the camera can't pick it up against those, so instead it casts a shadow, which means it's a solid object and not a phantom. Others remark that 3 a.m. is witching hour, so who knows, it could be anything. What do you think it is? Published by LANH TV New in March of 2022 and originally published by Knob Team Explore, this scary video reveals that the real haunting happens just out of sight. As the cameraman walks us through an abandoned structure, he rounds a corner where 2 bright lights are spotted blinking in the dark distance of the surrounding forest. What are they? He whistles and walks toward them. But before we can get to the bottom of that mystery, something starts rattling off to the left. The cameraman turns in the sound's direction and he starts to approach the rattling. Rounding another corner, he finds that this door is the culprit. He calls out and then runs away.
Assalamualaikum.
Turning around, he captures this hanging from the rafters. It appears to be a small pair of legs. The rest of the figure's body remains out of sight. When he turns around and casts the camera back, the figure is no longer there. What is this horror? Something that's gonna stay with me for a long time, that's for sure. Imagine what it might be like to sail on the open sea. Nothing but water all around you. Now imagine that same water at night, posted to the oddly terrifying subreddit. This clip was originally posted on TikTok by Oily White Hat, who works on an oil rig. The short clip shows the black inky darkness that surrounds the rig at night. It's pitch black all around. You can't see past the handrails. Redditor Timbo Flex writes in the comments, "Yeah, I've been on a ship in the middle of the Pacific at night with only red lights. The stars and the colors above you are amazing, and below you is just a noisy void of inky blackness. It's like you're floating in space near the event horizon of a black hole looking away. Would you be able to stand it out here on the edge of the event horizon? As amazing as it sounds, I think I'm gonna stay on land." Have you ever captured something out of the corner of your eye in the woods? Vivian Hoffman shares this mysterious video to Facebook page Kentucky Mysteries. Watch closely. Let's see it again. The video was taken while driving, so it's an unsteady capture, but this still photo gives us a clearer image of the figure. It looks like someone in a long cloak wearing a hat. Though the attire isn't distinct, it looks like clothing from a past time period. The figure looks unnaturally dark, considering it's the middle of the day. I feel like it could be a shadow figure. Many in the comments say the Old Hills Mountains of Kentucky are known to be haunted. Whether a ghost, a skinwalker, or the devil himself, I'm not sure, but this unknowable being definitely makes me nervous. What if you walked into a grocery store and the man across the aisle did this? Published to the Chills Narrator subreddit by Calligram, this video will make you cringe and then maybe throw up a little in your mouth. This is not an illusion. The man in this video, Alexander, is a Russian gymnast who can turn his head 180 degrees. During gymnastics, he discovered that his body was incredibly flexible, particularly his vertebrae. He wanted to test how far this flexibility could go, so he decided to push himself. Alexander explains, "I worked on this step by step, going a little further each time, and one day I was able to turn my head all the way around. When I do, it takes energy from my whole body. The complete 180 is like a horror movie. It only took some practice for the gymnast to twist his head around like an owl, but that's not true for just anyone." Alexander's doctor suggests the neck swiveling ability is not an act that you can train for. He thinks the trait is congenital. The doctor recommends not to try this at home. For Alexander, though the party trick takes complete concentration to pull off, the act fills his body with a strange energy, and he doesn't feel like himself in the moment. Still, he calls it absolutely normal and says the twisty neck doesn't hurt one bit. Funny, it hurts me just to see it. While staying overnight in a house with a poltergeist, you're bound to develop insomnia. YouTube team Toppy is up all night in this poltergeist apartment. Bumps in the night occur while the couple is sleeping at around 2 a.m. Listen closely. Through a spirit box, they ask the ghosts why they want them out, and this is their response.
Скажите, пожалуйста, почему меня просят уехать домой?
More footage while they sleep captures additional noises, including a whistle. And more bumps in the night are heard. Then it sounds like someone is clapping. A struggle unfolds in the kitchen. And then the sounds return to the room. These noises continue throughout the night over more than 5 hours of recording. Aside from the paranormal, the only thing I can think of that may be making these noises is rodents. So what do you think? Is this house infested by rats? It's past midnight at a police station in Pahang, Malaysia. A quiet crew plays chess to help pass the time, completely unaware of something that stays 2 moves ahead.
Astagfirullah! Ya Allah! Selesai! Keluar! Benar! Ya Allah! Azan!
The faint outline of a figure leaves them fearfully singing for protection and clambering over each other to stay far away. A different police video taken 10 years later shows more scary things that are just beyond creepy. In the darkness looms a mysterious figure, not wearing a reflective vest like everyone else, that also does not reveal any detail whatsoever, even when directly under the high-powered beam of a police flashlight. Not to mention those crying noises coming from the woods. It could be speakers, but I really doubt the police would be wasting time faking paranormal videos, so either this is a joke being played on them, or else these scary ghost videos are actually real. I want to get the opinions of people from Malaysia, where this video was made, to help me decide if these creepy videos are real, or part of a viral trend, or what. Either way, you know the paranormal activity is bad, when even the police are too afraid to do something about it. Not that there's much they can do.
Supposedly, a little girl saw 2 ghosts. Looks like a creepy little house. They say it's really haunted.
A team of ghost hunters investigate recent paranormal activity at the Craig house, where a ghost sighting has left a little girl really creeped out. Her mother suspects the house is haunted.
So what do you think it is? Do you think it's probably ghost?
The Craig family was not surprised when their daughter had a ghost sighting, because they've all experienced paranormal activity too. Weird things like the dial on their radio moving on its own, unexplainable noises in the basement, and scary voices whispering hello. But this time the paranormal activity has gone too far by scaring their innocent daughter, and so the ghost hunters are called to investigate. They set up paranormal equipment in the haunted basement to see what kind of supernatural evidence they can capture on video. When nothing is caught on tape, the ghost hunters begin to doubt anything paranormal is down here, and so they challenge the ghost to reveal itself on camera.
Make something move off these shelves. You little...
No objects fall off the shelf, but apparently 3 minutes later, a mysterious EVP is caught on camera when the ghost hunters are exploring the entrance to a room under the stairs. Keep in mind their paranormal equipment has been dormant for 25 minutes until they come across this hidden room, which appears to be empty, and when they open it, all of their equipment mysteriously turns off and needs to be restarted. So I think they've let out something paranormal. As ghost hunters, it is their job to replicate the results, so as to provide the best paranormal evidence possible, which in this case means standing outside of the small space and taunting the ghost some more.
Bring it to me. I'm going inside this little room. Demonic, heaven or... Bring it to me. Let's see it. They said, Jordan.
A strong and steady EVP does not stop until they take the batteries out, which I think were probably being drained fast. Judging from the weird sounds it makes, the ghost hunting equipment is being pushed past its limits and struggles to keep up with the paranormal energy surrounding it. Later, their EVP session takes them inside the closet of the girl's basement playroom, where she had a ghost sighting. He calls the ghost a coward for not properly showing itself, and...
Coward is what you are.
If you look behind him, an object seemingly moves on its own, or maybe he hooks it with his finger. It's kind of hard to say.
Did you not see it move by itself?
Yeah, but it's gotta be better than that. I gotta see it move by itself.
You still don't believe?
Not really.
Either way, this is probably one of the few videos I've ever seen where the ghost hunters argue about whether this scary moment is paranormal or fake, so let's help them figure it out. I think it was probably real because earlier, he did at some point ask the ghost to move an object to prove it was real. A family was reportedly taken from this scary abandoned house, and these ghost hunters are here to investigate. Published by Dark Arts TV in August of 2021, they first come across a photograph of creepy porcelain dolls. They then open the door to a room before heading outside. While outside, they hear an unexplained sound.
So I've got a big torch on now. And the camera's just banged.
Another happens shortly after, scaring the crew.
Video right. Energy.com for sponsoring this video right.
Back inside, while one of them is waiting for the other near the stairs, the front door opens. Later they hear voices, and it sounds like someone is at the door. When they ask the spirit to show itself, they hear it again.
Can you show yourself?
Outside again, they speak to the spirit through the spirit box, and he tells them what he's ready for. They later hear male voices, not through the spirit box, but nearby.
Man's voice here. Two people talking. Yeah, I'm turning this off, mate.
They decide it's time to leave before they get taken to. In 2007, a YouTuber named Ben Ems uploaded this video made by his friend Levi, who is reciting some lines for a play when something appears in the window.
I wish you were here.
The resolution is good for a YouTube video that's over 13 years old, so I don't think it's computer effects, but I do think it's planned. This is the reflection of someone who is probably standing behind the camera, not behind Levi. The upper corner gets brighter when they turn on the light to make the reflection appear in the window. So while this video is creepy, I doubt it's as real as Ben claims. These friends travel to an abandoned church in Wales that gives all three of them a sinister feeling before anyone steps foot inside. It may have been nice when it was first built, but with ivy growing up the side and dirty water pooling around the foundation, this church looks corrupted, the perfect place for spirits to roam.
That is proper evil looking church.
The inside looks trashed by partiers, cans everywhere. They think they can hear faint church bells in the wind, but unfortunately nothing picks up on camera. Still, the feeling that they are not alone only grows more persistent with every step, and as they cross a large empty room in ruins, commenting on how evil it feels, they do pick up two anomalies.
Oh, evil? They've like done, dare I say, a really good job of like securing it though.
I'm almost positive that the first anomaly was a lens flare caused by light coming through the window, but the second sighting, the shadow person, is much odder.
A really good job of...
I would say that this is his shadow, except there is no lower half, so it might not belong to anyone in the group, or anyone alive for that matter. YouTube team Ozark Paranormal Project sets up a stationary camera in this haunted room. While the group is all hanging out in the hallway, notice that their shadows cast from a light in the next room to the upper wall.
I walked in on the
Stand in the corner and bring my
But later, when no one's there, strange lights are cast on the room's walls. What was that? Watch above the open door.
Get none.
It almost looks like fairy dust. It doesn't appear the same as the other light sources falling in the room, but is it paranormal? I think it's more likely a camera glitch of some kind, but I've never seen one so bizarre. In the midst of the desert, this hole is hiding something. TikToker Sicaria Al 98 shares this mysterious video. Happening upon a deep dark pit in the middle of the desert is a mystery in and of itself, but the sounds coming from its depths take this mystery to the next level. It sounds to me like shrieking cats, but others suggest these are the chilling wails of those who have passed on. Is this a portal to the fiery depths below? If so, seal that thing back up ASAP. YouTuber Burak Dohan Paranormal is about to enter the house of a man who made a deal with the burier Genie. He has yet to enter the house before something disturbs him. He deciphers the EVP as "we came." A short time later, he hears something again. This time the EVP says, "We're all around." Once inside, things get more bizarre.
Bismillah. Bismillah.
What was that sound? As he continues his search, something raps on the window.
Bak bak, duvar sallanıyor.
Whatever is in the house with him becomes more animated.
İçeride bir şey var arkadaşlar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
The last EVP he hears says, "Go here." Go where, I wonder? The ghost hunter doesn't hear it in the moment, so he doesn't follow these orders. I think he might regret it though. Ready to hear one of the most bone-crunching sounds in the world? This was captured at the Australian Reptile Park. The bone-crunching noise gives me the chills beyond belief. According to the BBC, saltwater crocodiles take the lives of an estimated 1,000 people per year, many more than sharks do. Would you want to run into one of these monsters? Me neither. Shared by YouTuber Random Videos 5, a supposed witch was captured on camera approaching the security guard in the street late at night. Let's see it unfold. As he nears the wailing sound, he starts reciting a prayer, and then he sees her. The witch comes toward him, wailing. To me, she appears to walk very stiffly and has an uncanny narrow form. The security guard backs away as she continues to bellow. I think this is a real witch. I've never seen or heard anything like it before. And what I really want to know is if she is cursing him. And are we cursed too by proxy? We better say sorry to this witch before we're cursed next. Have you ever played hide and seek with a ghost? Posted in April of 2020, this footage shows you can run but you can't hide. Entering a disused building at night, which appears to have been an office building of some kind, this brave soul navigates the deserted place, with rooms littered with debris and office chairs overturned in the hallway. The guy filming seems to sense the presence of something unseen. He addresses it, but nothing makes itself known. Looking up and down hallways and around corners, he decides to ascend the stairs. On the second level, an overhead fan is spinning. With no electricity on, this movement is incredibly eerie. He calls out again to whatever presence is in the haunted building, before tentatively walking up the rest of the stairs and turning the corner to another hallway. He exhales audibly in relief after finding the hallway empty. As he walks down the hall, with small scraps of paper scattered everywhere on the floor, he hears a sharp click. He kicks a door from one of the adjacent rooms open. Checking all corners of the room and behind the door, he finds no one and nothing in there. He runs to the opposite room, also kicking the door open and entering it to find it empty, apart from furniture. He returns to the hallway, looking back and forth several times before continuing down the hall. As he turns another corner, scanning the next hallway and its rooms, he screams as an office chair glides past behind him. When he turns to enter a room, he kicks the chair away from him, but moments later the chair moves again as he continues down the hallway. Now the noises really escalate. There are bangs and sounds coming from every direction. As he walks past a room, the door slams shut. He enters the room and a window slides open. More sounds bang all around, causing him to race out of there for his life.
Bismillah. Allahu Akbar.
As he arrives at the stairwell, a loud screeching is heard, like tables being moved around, only the screeching doesn't stop for a long, long time. After watching this footage, one thing's for sure, this haunted building is not for the faint of heart. Disembodied voices and shadow figures plague the Mount Morris Mystery House, and YouTube team Spirit Walk Paranormal are here to investigate. The first whispers come as one of the team leaves this room. Although I don't necessarily hear what the team has heard, there is a distinct voice there. Shortly after, as the Steadicam sits there, a strange noise is heard. That sounds almost mechanical to me. Next is this unexplained tapping. Followed by this singular tap. Later, as one of the crew is touring the house, he hears this mysterious knocking. He continues the search, which turns up this disembodied voice.
So I'm gonna close the door.
That could just be the sound of the door closing, although it does sound suspiciously like words. Another strange sound is followed by a disembodied voice.
We can...
And shortly after, another is heard.
There's some toys.
Are these many bodiless voices coming from the beyond? I think that may be the case, because to me, the whispers sound not of this world. A mysterious creature sighted in the woods of Macleod, Illinois, has residents wondering if this video is real or fake. It looks fairly convincing upon first glance, but some parts are questionable, like how this looks more like a boot than a foot when it steps out at 22 seconds. At 23 seconds, it raises its back leg up high like a person would. I think if its legs were really that big, then its footsteps would be much heavier and closer to the ground, but maybe I'm wrong. Ghost investigations are even scarier in another language. In this video posted to YouTube in December of 2018, ghost investigators attempt to infiltrate an abandoned house that we can only guess is haunted. At least it looks that way. While exploring the home, the investigator keeps hearing things moving, debris being unsettled, and from the way he's jerking his camera around, it seems he's sensing movements around him. What is in this home with him? The place appears as though someone just picked up and left. It's covered with debris and looks like it was abandoned in a state of chaos. While creeping around some upstairs room, the ghost investigators appear to sense someone or something, and that something grabs a hold of him. It's clear he's struggling with a force in the home. He tussles with it and for a moment is dragged backwards by the force before he escapes, racing out of there like his life depends on it, which it probably does. What is going on in this video? Is there any explanation as to what pulled this ghost investigator backwards? It certainly looks real to me. For fear of knowing, don't answer. After all, I don't think 99% of people could handle the answer.
어딨어? 자신 있으면 나와봐.
In northern Wales lies the house of the two sisters.
That others have dubbed the Two Sisters House. There isn't much history on this location that we could find online. The only information we have gathered are the photographs left inside the property along with
YouTube team The Ouija Brothers explores this abandoned haunt in this scary video. First, they hear walking.
Are you walking?
No one's walking now.
I'm completely still.
However, Steve's camera picked up no footsteps. Next, another disturbance is heard.
Knock fear and show. Chicken.
Yeah, I can't see anything coming.
But the sounds are not the only thing that's strange here. There's a feeling.
It's not like something was stood right next to me then.
Yeah.
Where I am here.
Where are you?
I didn't feel uncomfortable, but you know when you feel like there's someone by the side of you?
Their camera unfortunately doesn't capture the footsteps they hear.
I'm just in the hallway, but it's coming from this room.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I heard.
Alright, let's be quiet. Let's see if we can hear it.
But the spirit does seem to be responding via the K2 meter.
Towards me. I've heard you. Build the energy, use our energy, use what we've got left.
Is it one of the two sisters, or are they both playing tricks on them? I do get the feeling that they're enjoying taunting the Ouija brothers. A team of paranormal experts head to the abandoned county jail in Gonzales, Texas to prove it is really haunted. After exploring for a while, all of them agree that they are feeling an intense anger for no real reason. Finally, one of them decides to confront whatever is responsible for causing their heightened emotional state.
We've been feeling a lot of anger, and I want to know why.
The question is met with even greater anger in return.
You're right.
According to them, an invisible hand slides around his throat and tightly squeezes. The retching noises he makes afterwards seems very real. He runs out of the building and his eyes appear red and watery immediately afterwards.
I feel the pressure right now on my neck.
Look at your man, you gotta see your eyes. Come lift up the screen so you can see your eyes, man. Look at your eyes.
Unless he is somehow able to give himself fully red eyes on command, all of this evidence makes me believe that this ghost incident could have been real. YouTuber Kelsey Davies investigates the Mag House, a house haunted by its former residents. As they're entering, a strange sound is heard.
Oh, wow. So these are the rooms that you got to see originally?
Yeah.
Then Kelsey feels a presence behind her.
Whoa. The floor just shook behind me. That was so weird. Oh, it felt like someone was stepping like on the floor behind me.
Oh my gosh. So
As one of Kelsey's guests shares some info about the home, they hear something.
Everything I know about Mary, she was super kind and wonderful. I've actually had descendants of the family with memories of the family still living here up until 1955, where Mary's still...
Kelsey speaks to the spirit present, and she answers.
If you can figure that out, if you can make it beep for us, we would absolutely love that and appreciate that. You can use that energy from my light.
In fact, she seems very excited to speak to them.
Are you able to figure out how to use this? I don't know how to explain how to use it. Is there anything you want to say to Jamie or she does. Oh my God.
And things start to get personal.
Are you the man that was in the car with me? Yes. Heard my husband or something? Did that say so?
Strings moving and unexplained sounds are heard.
You see the lamp? Is there like air or something moving the strings? See how the strings are like moving? It's like not really focusing on it. Oh.
When they try to contact a spirit in one of the room, they receive a whisper.
If there's anyone here with us, can you make a tap noise or a knock? I know there was a little boy.
Amongst the museum cat's paw prints, they see what looks like a fingerprint as well.
Have you ever seen like fingerprints on here? Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, what are those?
We have a museum cat.
Oh, cute.
Probably
What is that?
While discussing the coughing they heard earlier, they hear something in the moment.
have to check.
I heard like, I almost sounded like a woman like coughing really hard, and it sounded painful, like, like, you know how tuberculosis is like really, really, it came from over there.
Their paranormal devices are actively triggered in one of the hallways.
I'll show you how it works. I heard a little boy go like, ooh, he's never seen this. Whoa.
What is that?
Ashley. It doesn't do that.
After moving the devices slightly, they continue to be triggered.
Oh my gosh.
They are so active in here, it's insane.
And once they reach the attic, it sounds like someone is there with them.
Any fingerprints on there? I know, I'm not trying to see. Heard something over there.
While their investigation didn't capture anything definitive, in my opinion, there are enough pieces to puzzle together that this place is haunted. The family never left. On the Chills Narrator subreddit, a user named Dope Island Skate continues to post all the weird things caught on camera while living in his haunted home. This time he's looking at his living room on CCTV video when creepy stuff starts happening once again on his home security system. A noise in the hallway makes him turn around. A weirdly shaped small figure is caught on camera, but he must not see it in real life because he doesn't say anything. There is no doubt that the light is moving by itself at 1 minute before he hits the light switch. He does a full 360 around it, not believing his eyes, and you can clearly see nothing is attached. Almost everyone who watched this video on the Chills subreddit thought it was creepy and real, and I don't really have a counter explanation as to how it could be faked. Nothing about this mysterious video is easy to explain, and that's why I think it might actually be real. Hopefully Dope Island Skate continues to keep us updated, unless he decides to move out of his haunted house first, which I would completely understand. This live broadcast captures what appears to be an impossible error on camera. Watch the news anchor on the left and see what happens. Here it is again in slow motion in case you missed it. Everything from a hologram to an alien has been proposed, but I guess it could be some kind of camera malfunction. Maybe someone who knows more about cameras can let me know if this is a technical malfunction or not. Britton Smith is hanging around her dorm room when she notices something is apparently laying in bed with her. An invisible force appears to be pressing up and down on the flowery design of her covers, right before her very eyes. I will admit that it's hard to tell if something is on top of the covers or simply underneath, in which case it could be anything and not necessarily paranormal. Britton Smith describes this as a ghost in her dorm room, but I'd like to know if you agree with her or not. A YouTuber named Lawrence Ryan takes off his shirt and throws it over a shelf. A while later, he returns to the area and now finds the discarded piece of laundry has somehow shifted into a face. This shift continues before his very eyes until Lawrence grabs a camera to document the paranormal event. The shirt takes the appearance of a grinning demonic face who is looking down into the left. If you don't see it yet, you soon will. The transformation is not yet fully complete. The camera goes out of focus very briefly as Lawrence struggles to zoom in while walking closer. And when the camera corrects itself and comes back into play, the face is changed again. Pause at 1 minute and 47 seconds into the video, and you will see it now has a very deep ceased brow, a sharp angular nose, and a strange expression that looks like a cross between a frown and a smirk. I really don't see how any of this is possible, but then again, if it's fake, then I don't know how they did it either. The shirt is hanging from a shelf and should not hold any form at all. If they tried to somehow fold it into the shape of a face, I don't think it would stay like that for long. Muna Bruzan bought this strange and creepy doll at an antique sale after she felt its eyes watching her. Now the doll apparently continues to do so as their connection grows stronger over time. Here you can see her pick up the doll to admire her. When the doll apparently comes to life, you can hear Muna cry out in surprise as the doll turns towards her and flutters its eyes. I have no idea how this could have happened, since both of her hands are nowhere near the doll's head when it turns to face her. When she puts the doll back down, it seems to understand that she is done playing and thoughtfully turns its gaze outside the window. Is this a glitch in the Matrix? Published in July of 2010, the so-called extraterrestrial sighting was captured at 4:45 in the morning in Grass Valley, California. The YouTuber writes, "LB and I went to investigate what I thought was an animal in the parking lot of the office. I heard a sound that I cannot describe. This is what they saw."
What is that? Dude, look through the night vision. Look on the screen.
The YouTuber explains that when he was pulling in, he saw something strange with the lights on. He assumed it was a maintenance person, but went to investigate after hearing the sound. You can see the light he's talking about at a distance. They follow a road to where he thinks he earlier saw the light. He sets the camera down and zooms in. An unusual flickering light flashes across the screen. It then flashes in the other direction, and this time an attached figure is clearly running. The flickering figure pauses for a moment, and they ask who it is.
Hello? Hey, who is that?
He looks like he's glitching out. A moment later, he runs off again, and a strange screech is heard.
This tripped me out, dude.
Is this an extraterrestrial, or is this some other supernatural creature of our own world? Paranormal investigators, specialists, and other field researchers have been trying to explain the Hessdalen lights in Norway for decades. These mysterious lights have been observed by residents since the early 80s. Though sightings have decreased in recent years, these lights still randomly appear from time to time and have attracted many followers. As you can see here, they look like small balls of light in broad daylight with no discernible source. Scientists think that this could be from sulfuric gas bubbles mixing with humid air, though they have not been able to prove this. Other researchers believe this could be a UFO hotspot or even a portal to another world. In a dark and dreary graveyard, Franco of the YouTube channel Franco TV encounters a demon, or what he thinks may be one. Early on, he sees figures creeping around the cemetery in the darkness. Are they grave robbers or adventurers just like him? Franco continues through the graveyard.
Making my way towards the church. So far, still no sign of anyone. Not gonna lie, I thought that was a person right there.
But soon he thinks he sees someone for real.
Hola? Hola?
Did you see that? Something was peeking at him from around the corner.
Hola?
I'll let Franco tell you what he saw.
That was freaking horrifying. I literally just seen something just staring at me through the wall as I'm making my way out of here.
But maybe his eyes are just playing tricks on him.
Is that a person? Oh, that's just a rock.
Although they may be in this case, I definitely saw something earlier, peering from around the pillar, but was it a demon or a friendly phantom? I've got a chat over on the r/ghosts subreddit. A user named Cam Sunkissed shares a video of a home surveillance recording on his front porch while a pizza delivery driver drops off the order at the house. Seems fairly normal right now, but this simple pizza delivery turns into something much more terrifying in just a matter of seconds. Very clearly, you can just hear somebody's voice. It's almost like a whisper, and it doesn't seem to catch the pizza delivery man's attention. It's just very bizarre and out of place here. I'll just play it one more time. Just listen very, very closely. Amazingly, it doesn't even seem as if the pizza delivery driver even hears anything, so maybe this bizarre sounding voice was only audible once listening to the recording and not in person. That would definitely explain why the driver has no reaction whatsoever as soon as the voice starts speaking, but I would like to imagine that if he did hear it, he would be a little bit freaked out and would probably quickly drop the order off and leave immediately. One commenter says it sounds like perhaps Spanish, and he thinks the voice could be saying, "Do you listen to me?" Of course, this is just speculation, so take it with a grain of salt, but either way, this is one voice you certainly wouldn't want to hear on your security camera. It's a full moon, and a YouTuber who goes by the name of Al Capone is in the most hectic cemetery I have ever seen. He can't even explain what he's been through without getting interrupted.
Okay, things moving behind tombstones while I was driving it.
Then listen to this at 4 minutes and 52 seconds.
No, behind me.
Oh, you heard behind you? I heard it.
No, I heard what was by you, but I'm saying by the cars, like...
Al is talking when another man's voice speaks at the same time. What they hear a minute and a half later leaves their mouths hanging open. I mean, this could be neighbors from some of the nearby houses, except there's really no reason for anybody to be shouting near the cemetery in the middle of the night. Plus, the direction these voices are coming from is deeper in the cemetery, away from the houses and closer to the woods. And since this video was made in the middle of January 2020, I doubt anyone was out there camping. Posted to the r/chills narrator subreddit, Redditor The Cheese is Moist writes, "If I'm tripping, then don't come at me in the comments, but is that star changing colors?" In the video, he zooms in on a star in the distance. The closer the zoom, the more clear it is that the star is rapidly changing colors. I've never seen a star ever do this before. Is it a satellite? Or is there something more nefarious at play here? A YouTuber named Sean Daywood is playing outside with his younger friend Ryan when a stranger comes out of the woods, and instead of ordering them off of her property, she demands they come closer to her. Here, she holds onto Ryan's arm and pulls him in when he tries to resist her grip. A much larger man comes out of the woods and backs up his wife. Then the woman turns around and simply says, "Come on," as if she expects Sean to follow. When he says no, she makes it clear that she will take him by force.
What do you mean now? You want me to fight you?
Sean tries to assert his right to leave, and she tells him that he is basically being held against his will.
We're leaving right now. Come on, Ryan. He's not leaving.
When she gets within grabbing distance, Sean feels completely overwhelmed, and he and Ryan run. Who even knows what these adults were up to, or if they were even the property owners in the first place? For all we know, they could have been random strangers looking to do who knows what in the middle of the woods. What do you see here? Posted to the paranormal video subreddit, Redditor Upstairs Bicycle 1721 wants some sort of explanation for this mysterious clip. Let's take a look. The mysterious vertical rods hover side by side in front of the camera for a moment before one of them takes off and disappears out of sight. The second figure slowly drifts right until it's out of frame. Nearly everyone in the comments is perplexed by this video. Although I don't think this is a spider web either, I don't have any rational ideas as to what they could be. Do you have an explanation? While exploring the abandoned Davutlu village, the YouTube crew from Han Kardisler find they're not alone. One woman comes out of the woodwork.
Ay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Kulağızım yapınız, bilginiz lehiniz bir şeyiniz vesaire. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Oğlum Leon yanında.
The woman leads them to this strange dark figure hiding behind a corner, but the figure disappears as they approach.
Sen ne yapıyorsun burada ya?
Ben her yerde geziyorum.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Oğlum. Ne oluyor lan? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Gel.
It then reappears in the downstairs window. The mysterious figure appears only as a form, a shadow if you will. While the crazy woman tells the crew something, her silent husband stands by with his back to the camera. The figure has again vanished from sight.
Abi ne oluyor?
Benim sevgilim gel buraya.
Şaka mı bu? Baksana adama baksana kanka. Çok tolu stres. Oğlum bu kafayı yemiş şu an. Oh gidiyor.
And then the woman appears to go nuts, shooing them off and even throwing stuff at them.
Ay çok gidin yeter. Hadi.
Abi bismillah. Abi bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Hadi gidin artık. Yeter. Peşimden gidin. Gelmeyin artık.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wow, dışarı adam dışarı çıktı.
Yeter.
After being chased around, they later see the figure in the window again.
Bayram. Burada duruyoruz. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bayram bu ne böyle ya? Kafayı yiyeceğim. Abi.
But it's not any clearer what the figure is. I have no clue what this entity may be, but it seems to me that this old woman might be protecting it from outsiders. I'm not so sure it needs her protection though. TikToker Queen Alex posted this haunting video to the site. The clip shows a phone strapped onto a stand, recording footage of a woman in the distance near a forest. You might have to watch this clip a few times to see it, but if you look at the tree to the right of her, you can see what appears to be a figure move from one side of the tree to the other. What is going on here? Is it a trick of visual trickery, or have we all fallen into some time warp loop? Whatever it is, it's seriously uncanny. I wouldn't go anywhere near that forest. The news is pretty boring until something totally unexpected like this happens, and you'll never guess what it is. Two anchors are having a chat when their background gets bizarre.
Well, it was really nice, and I've been very lucky because it's looked after by a fantastic medical team, fantastic consultants and nurses.
Ordinarily, I would say this is two different shots edited together. However, the crowd seems to stay the same as the man disappears. At 4 seconds, you can see the individual is crossing from left to right. They come out from the column soon after the man disappears, which indicates this was all one continuous take. YouTube team Rota X Investigaso Paranormal explores this haunting place where something horrible happens. As they walk in, they sense there's someone there.
Tu acha que tem uma pessoa aqui, olha?
As he introduces himself, it sounds like someone runs off into the darkness.
Meu nome é Marco.
They get back to their investigation, addressing the spirits.
É o espírito que uma vez colocou. Opa, cara. Vamos fazer uma pergunta pra ele. Fala aí, né?
Boa noite. A presença que está aqui é da alguém que partiu, que estava aqui na tragédia?
In one dark and scary room, their device goes off.
Maior.
Por isso a equipe Rota X pede licença para estar entrando aqui.
And a second time.
Tá, obrigado pela sua resposta, tá bom?
And then a third time.
Tá, alguém faleceu aqui, né? E você poderia me dizer...
While the readings are interesting, I'm more intrigued by the person they sensed in the building who seemed to escape. Werewolves lurk in this forest. Enter if you dare. YouTube team Fatos e Mysterios faced off with a wild half-man, half-dog in this scary video. First, they hear it.
Também escutei tipo bater de orelha mesmo, vi? Sei lá o que foi isso. Olha aí de novo, olha lá.
And soon, they spot it right before it gives chase.
Olha lá. Tá fumando isso? Não tá fumando. Olha. Tá vendo aí, olha. Tô vendo.
Its growl soon sends him running.
Porra.
And despite fleeing the werewolf, it's still stalking them in the darkness.
Liga logo tua moto, liga! Vai, liga.
Will they escape?
Tô vendo.
They better hope so, or I think they'll soon be part of the Wolf Pack too. Dark Mystic is the name of a paranormal YouTuber in Russia who intends on exploring an abandoned cottage home in the middle of some pretty scary woods late at night. He wants to determine what kind of paranormal entities haunt this abandoned building, and he's certain he's caught creepy things on camera. He finds a room with half the walls covered in newspaper clippings. They look to have been carefully cut out and are not overlapping, which to me means they were meant to be read instead of part of a remodeling project or something like that. If you speak Russian, what do these headlines say? I can't help but suspect this is a trophy room and someone is proud of making the news.
Кто здесь?
He hears somebody cough, but nothing is there. It's creepy, but the paranormal activity really picks up when he goes exploring the haunted attic.
что такое может быть.
He keeps hearing objects getting thrown around, dropped, or otherwise moving on their own. And when Dark Mystic goes to check what they are, something moves into the doorway as if rolled into place by a ghostly hand. Dark Mystic is certain that something paranormal is toying with him and arms himself. He may be right, but I'm not sure what use a blunt force instrument would be on something not of this world, a being made of shadows that peeks at him from around the door. YouTuber Dark Life says this was the worst EHF find he's ever discovered in an abandoned house. Dennis explains that he didn't bring his tent, so he won't be spending the night.
Ладно, пойду я дальше, не буду терять время. Сегодня я без палатки, поэтому ночевать я здесь не буду оставаться.
Later inside, a spirit confirms that she is there.
Здесь кто-нибудь есть из мира мертвых?
The spirit says that she remembers her relatives.
Помнишь что-нибудь из жизни? Ты что-нибудь помнишь из жизни?
As Dennis is standing in the dark, he accidentally steps on a hornet's nest.
Опа. Я попал.
He leaves a camera down there instead, so as not to be stung, but something spins his camera around. I don't know what did that, but it was not a hornet. This video was posted on my subreddit by someone in Palo Alto, California. For well over a minute, these large lights jump all around the sky, changing direction seemingly at random without logic or reason. After a while, the mysterious lights slowly lower to the ground, almost as if landing somewhere unseen.
Yo, what is that?
Oh my gosh.
Feel like moving around.
Look at that.
What is that?
This landing maneuver strongly suggests that this is some kind of controlled aircraft, though exactly what it's being controlled by is anyone's guess. The person who posted this video claims to be a pilot and has absolutely no idea what this could be. I thought this could be an experiment with flares, but they say military flares are much smaller and move differently. Whatever it was, I would be particularly worried because, according to his estimations, the strange lights apparently landed about 20 miles from his house. A CCTV gym camera captures this slow-moving white object at 6 in the morning. The strange shape appears to float in midair and even slightly changes form at times. Paranormal or not, experts have been ultimately unable to determine the source of this fluttering figure. I guess it might be a piece of lint or something that got stuck on the lens of the camera, but the way it slowly sways without going anywhere makes me think that this really could be a classic haunting. You often capture more than you bargained for on social media streams. Posted in July of 2019, this video shows a man wandering around an apparently abandoned apartment in the darkness. He seems to be praying as he shoots video of some window-type compartment up in the right-hand corner of one of the rooms. You can see some stranger peeking through. The man continues to pray and then suddenly screams in fear as he turns to capture something moving more aggressively in a huge box to his right as he races to get out of there. The door slams behind him. Even outside, he is not safe. He continues to pray while filming the exterior of the home. One of the window shutters up above opens and closes several times. Seems like this home needs more than prayer. It needs an exorcism. This one will make you scream and give you nightmares. Posted by Sarmy127 in September of 2007. This YouTube video went so viral that it prompted this YouTuber to create a pantry ghost documentary. Sarmy writes, "It has been 5 months since the last sighting of the ghost in my pantry. I filmed the door myself at 12:34 every night for 4 months, waiting for some paranormal activity. On September 19th, I capture what may be the first real ghost video proof. So let's take a look at this proof. The beginning of the video shows the pantry door opening of its own accord in the darkness. The man filming walks towards the door and shuts it, and as he backs away, a freaky figure presses its face and hands against the glass of the door. As he backs up, the horrifying thing disappears for some reason. He then approaches the door again, jerking it open, but there's nothing there. The contents within the pantry appear untouched. Did your hair stand on end? Did you scream? Some in the comments of this video did. This video had me afraid of what might be lurking behind the closed doors in my plate." A scary video by Annie Magic has gone viral in Russia because of how much creepy stuff is in it, beginning with a black plastic trash bag found while exploring an abandoned house late at night. What's inside confuses her as much as it does frighten.
Возможно, кто-то меня опередил, как с водобашней. Нет. Записка. Люк.
It sounds like she says look, but it probably means something different in Russian. So tell me what this handwritten message really says. She looks up in time to see a car stop and drive off. It's strange to see anyone out here at all, let alone so late at night, and so she goes to where the vehicle last was. The grass is wet and cold underfoot, and it soaks through her shoes. It takes her a great while to get there, and then, much to her dismay, she finds what's been left behind. A car drives slow, headlights off. The brights flip when she's within grabbing distance. She runs for her life and must have gotten away because she has uploaded since then. I'm not sure if this video is scripted or not. She hasn't gone exploring any abandoned houses for years now, which makes me think this scary experience could be real. This footage was supposedly taken by a 911 caller and later edited to include his actual 911 call. The caller starts out by saying he's hearing some strange noises in his basement.
I think there's somebody in my house right now. What happened was I was hearing some strange noises coming from my basement. I tried to go down there and see what it was, and I think I saw someone standing in the corner over there.
And this ghostly basement sighting is what supposedly caused him to make the call. So I'll show the officer when he gets there. Look closely, and you will see that this does appear to be a shadowy figure from another time period. I personally see someone from the Victorian age, perhaps a woman with a large dress and oversized hat. He runs upstairs and makes the call after seeing her. Then again, if this video was real, then I don't know how he would have gotten a copy of his own 911 call. I could be wrong, but I think those are private records and generally unobtainable. There are also sound effects that are obviously put over the video once he sees the ghost, so maybe this is just a prank after all. It could be computer effects or even a mannequin. Uncanny videos without explanations are often creepy in their own right, but this one takes it to a whole new level. Posted to YouTube by Gugun Reaper in October of 2016, the video is titled, "What Are You Thinking? Deep Web Video." Soon it will have you asking yourself that very question. The clip shows someone in a black trash bag with a white cloth tied over his head. The thing coughs a few times, looking super sad and terribly creepy. At one point, it lifts its hands to its mouth, and suddenly its mouth is flooded red. It's unclear what is happening. Is this thing coughing up red liquid? Fernando Costa suggests in the comments he was starting to hick it all up slowly, then blam, bile and everything all finally came up. In the end, the thing holds a piece of paper with writing on it. You can see through the paper, and though he's holding it upside down, it reads, "What are you thinking after watching this video? All it's doing for me is creeping me out." This submission comes from my new subreddit, where you can post whatever bizarre things you come across in your everyday life. It's reddit.com/r/chillsnarrator if you want to check it out. Lost Cosmonaut 01 says that he has been dealing with paranormal stuff ever since he was a child. Apparently, spirits have always taken an interest in him. Anyway, he lives alone, and one night he managed to take a picture of this possible ghost sighting in his basement. What interests me is that this streak of light highly resembles whatever was shown in number 4. If anyone has an explanation besides the paranormal as to how this could have been caused, then please let me know, and be sure to keep your submissions coming. The uploader of this video says that this sighting happened on the Barbados Islands sometime in 2017. A huge humanoid is stomping off in the horizon, its footsteps echoing throughout the tropical night scenery. The creature appears to have 4 long limbs and a gigantic bushy upper body that is completely covered in some kind of fur or else some kind of plant growth, possibly leaves or mold. It lets out a huge bellowing roar as it makes its way across the island. In the unlikely case this is not CGI, then what you are witnessing is definitely a modern day giant or some sort, though its true origins may never be fully understood. Great Salt Air in Salt Lake City is full of secrets. YouTube team Broken Wings Paranormal joins forces with Cold Spot Paranormal and discovers a giant figure is lurking in this spooky place.
Is he dancing? Can you raise your arm? Like this? Wave high? Hand up?
They capture the figure on the Kinect device in a dark room. Is it a giant?
Look how huge that is. I know. Can you bend over and touch your toes?
It's growing. Its head is like almost off the screen on the little side.
Josh tries to reach out and touch it, and he feels something supernatural.
No, but I feel tinglies on my fingertips.
Stand up and let's see what happens. Oh, look at it leaning the other way.
It's like it's propping itself up with its elbow.
As Josh gets closer, the entity disappears.
Where he is. Oh, now
he left.
You put your arm on it now.
You touched him and he left.
And he just...
Really?
Yeah, the minute you made contact.
In a surprising turn of events, it looks like the ghost got frightened by the living. It seems to me that Josh entered the spirit's personal space, and they didn't like it at all. I've got it shell, a beautiful home built in 1934, turned ugly when in 2009, the real estate mogul who bought the home took his wife's life, claiming the woman went missing on a hike. A search began for his wife but turned up nothing. A year later, the man put a new addition on his home that raised enough suspicion for police to request a search warrant. They found the wife buried beneath the home. The man was given more than 20 years behind bars, and the house remains abandoned. Published by Dark Exploration Films, this walkthrough of the home is incredibly disturbing. Taking viewers through the grounds and inside the home, the explorer comes upon the hole in which the woman was buried.
Let's go into the room that everybody wants to see. So this room was added in 2009. And once the police found out about this construction, they were a little skeptical.
Many in the comments are bewildered that anyone could live in the home they buried their wife in without getting telltale-hearted to the point of insanity. Others feel a sense of darkness and foreboding and even a feeling of sadness there. Surely the woman's spirit remains. Stalking should never be taken lightly, as is made clear by this next video, published by Terry TV in December of 2020. A streamer named Ellie Gatto, dressed in costume, is walking through the streets of a Japanese city at night. Fun, right? Well, it was until this guy showed up. The stalker, captured on camera, is not even trying to hide his intent, walking alongside the streamer with a sword known as a katana. He smiles as Ellie Gatto laughs uncomfortably.
Why is this guy following us? Why is he following us? Let's go this way. Oh god.
When she and her friend double around to try and lose him, the man follows. Ellie Gatto says they should go find her friend's husband. As she continues to try and lose the man, her laughter turns to real fear and concern. She even starts running as she attempts to call someone on the phone. She is brought to tears as the man gives chase. Fear Tales explains that a bystander noticed what was going on and pointed the girls to a hospital for protection.
This guy has noticed. He's gonna help us go to police.
He is seen in the video running alongside Ellie Gatto and serving as a witness to the man's predatory behavior. Later, the stalker is seen being led by authorities into a station. Although this scenario seemingly started as a joke, it quickly took a terrifying turn. Thankfully, this bystander didn't just stand by. Don't believe in unknown beings? What if one strolled right up to tap on your window? This unknown being footage, posted to the Chills Narrator subreddit by 77 Curran, will inspire you to take a trip over to Area 51. The footage shows an unknown being approach the window of a home. Its features are quite clear, with black gashes for eyes and an elongated cranium. You know, the kind of features you might expect from an unknown being. The unknown being stands there, peering into the home, observing. It even looks as though it's trying to find a way to open the window. If that is indeed what it's doing, it doesn't succeed, instead slinking off, perhaps to find the homeowner to take him. What do you think of this unknown being footage, real or fake? Either way, I'll be locking my windows tonight. This eerie video has me doing a double take, published by Spot You Like in April of 2008. This scary clip is filmed outside the stunning New York Minster. The bells are ringing and the cameraman is taking it all in. He scans the cathedral and then starts walking toward it. A shot later, he is continuing on his way down a narrow shop lane. While the bells continue to sound, shops line either side of the street. But watch what happens in the upper window to the left. The cameraman zooms in on the ghostly pale face of a small child looking out the window. The child's eyes are dark and inky, and its face mask-like. As the camera zooms, the child disappears. The uploader notes that the house is called the Belfry and was built in the 17th century. Some in the comments claim to have stayed there and say that it has seriously spooky vibes. Is this the thing putting out those vibes? I'd say it's a pretty good chance. In a circle near a haunted hut, Om Vlogs sets out to complete the 12-hour challenge. This is what happened.
वो सब झोपड़ी है वो हॉन्टेड वाली नहीं नहीं नहीं नहीं नहीं नहीं नहीं नहीं देख तेरा ये क्या ना साइड में कुछ आवाज है कैसी बताऊं आवाज.
Something is right outside their tent. When they exit, they hear it in the trees.
मेरे को झोपड़ी पे ना हल्का सा भी मूवमेंट से दिखाई देती. झोपड़ी पे? हाँ.
And then they see it in the hut.
रुक जब कुछ बेकाबू है. ओए. प्रियंक. इस तरफ से आ रही है मेरे. उस तरफ कोई कुछ कर रहा है.
Back inside their tent, they hear this, so they turn out the light.
कोई जानवर है लाइट बंद करी नीचे वो बड़ी लाइट बंद कर
But that only seems to disturb it more.
लाइट बंद लाइट बंद भाई कोई तो है
And just when they think the beast is gone,
खोल लाइट मार गया बस आई भगाए
back outside, it looks as though something disturbing has happened in the hut.
देख यहीं से ओए ये देख ये यहाँ हमने रखा था हाँ देख पहले उसने कोई जानवर था या कुछ था उसने यहाँ पे ये सब करा है फिर उसके बाद वो कुछ खाने की चीज समझ के
Well, I'm not sure what beast is haunting them. I am sure of one thing. I will not be completing this 12-hour challenge. This video is simply called Path of the Banshee. A man is walking all by himself down a bleak path with rows of trees reaching out for him from both sides. He spots something in the distance and freezes. Some people claim that the scream is fake and edited in. Even so, plenty of people say that they can see a figure in white robes in the distance. Do you see anything like that when he zooms in? Also, if you can identify if that scream is from a video game or a movie or something, then please let me know. Maybe together we can prove if this video is fake or real once and for all. Something is taking a hold of Michael in this haunted home. Published by D-Doc Michael, the first thing this paranormal explorer finds is this unsettling sickle. After resheathing it, he continues his exploration, only to soon be disturbed by strange noises. The noises continue, reminding him that he's not alone.
예, 감사합니다. 방금 뭐라고 하셨어요? 어이구 씨.
He hears a rustling while he's outside.
계세요 혹시? 저기
Inside, he hears something else. Then, while he's arranging some coffee cups, it seems as though he's been shocked. He asks the spirits to speak with him, but they don't answer. Although he does seem to hear something behind him, he follows it down a dark hallway into this room. Something seems to be happening to Michael, though it's unclear what. He returns to the same area to address the spirits, but it seems like the spirits don't want to talk. Instead, they get aggressive. What is taking hold of Michael? Whatever it is seems to want him to remain there forever. I think that's the cue to leave. This scary highway encounter would have easily gone unnoticed forever, if not for a dash cam recording. Pay attention to the bottom right and you'll see a blurry figure slip under the car in a matter of seconds. Pause the video and you'll see the undeniable outline of a girl from the waist up. She appears to be wearing a white dress and staring ahead with a gray face. I guess this could be light reflecting off of the pavement, but this also really does look like the outline of a person who was once living. Maybe every so often they appear in the exact same location where they sadly lost their life years ago. How would you feel if your CCTV camera caught this? Posted to the Ghosts subreddit by Relevant Hole 5903. This footage of a woman in white was caught on camera in the dark of night. It shows a ghostly figure in white crossing the grounds outside of a gated building with barbed wire fixed to the top. The stranger walks slowly in her flowing dress until she leaves the camera's sight. Some are suggesting this is a classic walk of shame. Others think the Redditor lives next to some shady stuff, but some are sure it's the legendary La Lorena. If it is, stay clear of water, because the legend goes that she would take your life in the water. Redditor Blues Forever 67 writes, "This is one of those instances where I think, what if we see ghosts all the time, but they're so vivid that we just think they're people?" I have to agree with that statement. My mind has been blown by this footage. Creepy videos don't get much scarier than the creature caught lurking around Anton Meyer's house. No, his house is not haunted, at least not in the traditional sense, but this scary moment will definitely haunt him for the rest of his days in South Africa. The animal control expert needs to move the snake into a cylinder containment unit on the floor, but as more and more of the creature stretches forth, I don't think it will fit. I wanted to know if this is a snouted cobra like he says it is. If so, these snakes are highly venomous and probably the absolute last species you'd want in your home, let alone in such an intimate area. Oh, and by the way, according to the description of this video, the handler accidentally lost his grip and the snake made the watery retreat back to where it came from. Hopefully it doesn't make a second appearance when they least expect it, but since cobras tend to be territorial during certain parts of the year, it's likely to return at some point. Ika Tulit Jeed is from Indonesia, and her dog is focused on something she can't see, something she thinks is paranormal. The dog's making some weird noises at something, but paranormal? Let's see.
Kayak dia ngomong sendiri. Nah, lihat. Lihat. Dia tidak tahu dia lihat apa di situ, nah. Ini nih, dia lihat di sini nih. Tidak tahu ada apa ya.
I can't say that I see anything in the corner, which is creepy, but with that said, I've seen dogs act like this when they're expecting to get a reward.
He was in the military. My mom wasn't. This was taught to my boyfriend. She was a friend of mine.
Maybe she taught her dog to hold a pose to fake this paranormal video. If so, very clever. If you've ever wondered what La Llorona sounds like, elcacoy.tv has the answer for you. Luckily, she's not there in the shower.
Juro que escuché aquí. Juro que... Mames, Mames.
And she sounds a lot nearer in the end, so she must be leaving. At least I hope that's the case for the person behind the camera. A candelabra is something straight out of a haunted castle, so it's no wonder this one is showcasing some really creepy paranormal activity. YouTuber Mr. Devilish looks on as the light fixture starts to dance.
Okay, that's kind of weird. This thing is moving. There's no fan on or anything. This thing's moving. Holy.
When he gets closer, the fixture becomes even more active.
Holy. This is like an old church. Pretty crazy.
And that's not all.
Oh. That's up. Something going on in here. Okay.
If this was just the light fixture by itself, I think it could be explained. A rodent or animal of some kind could be mucking around in the ceiling, but combined with the curtain closing, I think it's more likely to be paranormal. A kid is reading something off a website when his friend says something that makes him pause. Tell me what is being said here if you can. A wild face at the window sends him sprawling backwards in his chair with fright. There's no playing that scream off. He was seriously afraid for his life. He must not have seen the camera hidden in his friend's lap, and he never expected one of his other friends to jump at him from the window with a crazy look in his eye. But at least he saves a little bit of face by regaining his composure quickly and laughing along with them. Still, nevertheless, having someone peeking through your bedroom window is certainly a nightmare. Hardly anyone wants to see a clown at the best of times. Guaranteed, no one wants to see an uninvited clown on their doorstep. Published to YouTube in August of 2019, this creepy clown is everyone's unwelcome guest. Residents of San Antonio, Texas, likely double-checked their locks after video of this creepy visitor was captured on Ring surveillance footage. The clown was said to be loitering outside people's homes in the middle of the day saying trick or treat. Again, it was August at the time. The Ring footage captures the man wearing a clown mask approaching a home around 1 p.m. The anonymous homeowner wasn't present at the time of the clown's visit. The security video was shared to neighborhood groups, sending a collective chill down everyone's spine. Resident Ernest Marquez sums up the fear saying, "What his intentions were, I don't know. The uncertainty, the unknown is everyone's greatest fear. Hopefully this case was broken before it was too late." This creepy farmhouse will have you swearing off abandoned buildings for life. Published by Da.do's Urban Exploration in April of 2013. The uploader admits to being skeptical to the paranormal, but this incident made him consider opening up to the possibility. Da writes that the house sits about a half a kilometer from a road in Bobcage, Ontario. The house is isolated with just a barn and an outcrop of other buildings. It appears from a distance to be tightly boarded up, but a back door was wide open. He writes, "Now it is very possible all the environmental conditions were perfect for this experience. However, Wingman Jan happened to be with me on this explore, and we are in agreement. There was something more to this." He says the video doesn't really do the reality justice. The sounds were much more magnified, which he describes as like freight trains. He writes, "There was the sound of someone else walking, there was the sound of something heavy being dragged across the floor, and when exiting, it was like being followed out to the threshold of Inside and Out." Without further ado, let's take a look at the cryptic video. Even the approach to the house's exterior is a bit unnerving. The back door is under an overhanging, which our friends sneak beneath to catch a glimpse of a bunch of knickknacks and garbage littering the ground, including an old sewing machine. The back door is wide open, it's dark inside. They climb the steps to the kitchen area, also disheveled and covered with odds and ends. Once inside, they're stepping over the trash and other items on the floor while scanning the rooms with a flashlight. They enter the living room. Something on a door across the room flies up. It appears to be blown by a breeze. The door then opens and slams shut, while our brave Da backs away. Instead of racing out of there, they get closer. The door keeps creaking open and slamming shut again. He finally enters the empty hallway. No one is there. He shines the flashlight upstairs, and just when you think he's going to explore that second level, he hurries the heck out of that house. Probably a smart idea. The house alone is unsettling. I can't imagine what being there in person must have felt like. Although Dad knows some might call him a coward for being afraid, he insists that you had to be there to know what it truly felt like. On the contrary, most people believe in the comments of this video that Dad was brave to stay in this obviously haunted house as long as he did. I'm one of them. The story of Sally in the Wood goes something like this. Located outside Bath in Somerset, there's a road that passes into the woodland of Brown's Folly, which locals refuse to drive down after dark due to the terrifying legend surrounding it. Known by locals as Sally in the Wood, it is said that no birds can be heard chirping through this stretch of the forest, as a girl has her life taken there and now haunts the place. Some say they've heard a screaming child in the dark forest, and some have seen a full-bodied apparition of a girl racing into the road at night. The legends are all over the place about Sally in the woods. According to some, Sally was an 18th century gypsy girl who was held captive in a tower where she perished. The website Wiltshire Paranormal claims that this story is entirely fictional and that the name Sally in the Woods more likely came from a battle that occurred at Brown's Folly in 1643. As Sally is slang for skirmish, this could very well be true. However, the Bathford Society claims that Sally was an actual person, but not the only one who passed away in a tower. This legend claims that Sally was a witch living in a hut in the woods. Local records put Sally's passing at the age of 100, although that wouldn't really explain her appearance as a young girl ghost, unless Sally the witch had the ability to appear youthful. Regardless of what you choose to believe, the generational legend of Sally in the Woods lives on, and the resulting fear can be felt throughout this video, published to YouTube by the Abandoned Prepper in March of 2020. Examining various parts of the house up close, the Abandoned Prepper wanders through this haunted place solo. Some parts of the house appear deeply aged, while others recall the more recent past. There's an old piano, a strange lock on the door, and an old photo box in the basement that appears as though they're from another century, but other parts of the home look as though they're from the 60s or 70s. Prepper says that he can hear water running and regularly hears strange noises. Shortly after entering, there's a definite sound of glasses clinking about upstairs while he is downstairs.
Dave, this is massive. I'm getting a bit scared now. Hello?
Prepper calls out to alert anyone else exploring the house to his presence. He also said the house has recently become a hotspot for urban explorers. He returns to the first floor and then upstairs to the second. He keeps hearing strange noises throughout. Birds are chirping and the sound of running water.
What? Someone's flooding the basement.
He compares the house to Amityville and says it definitely gives him bad vibes. While he explores the adjacent house, at one point he enters a room. Notice there's no blue ball here. He heads upstairs and there's a loud sound of something wooden slamming or falling down. When he returns to that same room later, there's a blue ball in the middle of it. The call is coming from inside the house. He also finally discovers where the sound of running water was coming from. The basement of the house is being flooded. There's a hose passing down there, so it looks like it was done intentionally. As he's getting ready to head out of the home, he turns the corner to descend the stairs. That's when you hear the strike of a piano key.
Off. Hello?
Well, at the same time the hallway light bulb is swinging back and forth. He races down to catch whoever struck the cord, but there's no one. Finally outside, he turns back to look at the dark shell of a house. You can literally feel the creepiness shed away from you.
And it was just such a chilling investigation. I am so excited to share it with you.
Haley Reese is walking through the woods when she and her friends stumble upon an old historic building known as the Griffin House. The woods around this area are supposedly quite haunted, and so they decide to conduct an impromptu paranormal investigation. It isn't long before something spooky happens.
I'm walking around to see if there's anything that you guys can.
Move the windows! Somebody just opened the blinds! I'm not holding it, kidding you! Somebody opened the blinds. Blinds are moving.
Haley's friends claim to see curtains moving with no one inside, and when Haley approaches the Griffin house at 10 minutes and 16 seconds, you can see the curtains just barely part in the middle. Determined to get better evidence of the paranormal, Haley focuses her camera squarely on the window. She's expecting to catch a ghost on video at any minute, but nothing happens for a while. Then all of a sudden...
Move the blind more.
Whoa. As Haley later explains, the building has been closed to the public for months, so no one was inside. However, it could have been a draft in the house causing the curtains to move. There does appear to be a strong breeze blowing through the trees when they see it happen. Ever have that feeling that someone else is here? YouTuber Exploring with Joe has. I'll let him explain.
Hi guys, got an experiment today. I used the SLS the other day and there was a figure lying on the settee. So I'm going to do a little bit of an investigation just to see if there's anything in my house.
As he speaks to the spirits via the spirit box, his K2 spikes.
Can you say Gene for me, if you are Gene?
Gene is here. Joe gets double confirmation.
Is this Gene I'm talking to?
With the investigation complete, one question remains: is Gene a good spirit or an evil one? I suppose that would depend on what weird stuff the spirit has been up to in Joe's house. I'd keep a watchful eye on things if I was him. Number 12. Lights Over Reno had some people up in arms, but there may be a logical explanation. Redditor Practical Book 3293 shares the scary footage of the incident.
Call your mom and dad. What is that?
While most would likely be as startled as the guy filming, don't worry, it's probably not extraterrestrials.
It's stopping to shine.
If you take a look at the still image of Starlink, you can see the resemblance. This is the likely explanation to me. Or is it a fleet of extraterrestrial, unidentified flying objects mimicking Starlink to incept our world? Whatever you choose to believe. Number 20. Barack Aliye offers this video as proof that his house is haunted, but maybe there is more to it than that. Listen to this part and tell me if you can hear a fan, or some kind of air current, or really anything that could be causing the door to slam like this. I've seen a draft cause a door to slam shut one time, but never over and over. Have you? Barack records the top and bottom of the door to show that no one is near it, so this absolutely has to be a 1 in a million problem with the ventilation system, or else the supernatural at work. This kid is making a random video in a dark room for no real reason at all, when he makes the mistake of looking down for a brief second to cough. A hunched over humanoid creature, who may or may not just be one of his friends, takes this opportunity to hit the ground of all fours and scramble after him. Even if this was one of his friends, maybe something bad happened to them to cause this transformation to take place, in which case, there is nothing fake about this video. A YouTuber named BatBatBox and his friend are all geared up and ready to do some serious exploring down a drainage tunnel that runs deep beneath the streets in Norway. Recent rains raise the water up to their knees, and a storm surge could leave them over their heads in a moment's notice. Many small side passages tempt them, but the rising water makes it too risky. They soon reach an impasse in the form of a fallen tree that quickly brings their exploration to a close. But just as the two friends are having a quick conversation about what to do next, a third party joins in. Something calls from the other side of the clogged pipe, a weird noise in their words, but definitely a scared human voice in my opinion. It doesn't make any other noise or ask for help, and when they try to find the source, it's gone. The tunnel is empty except for them, or so they think. all they find is this weird, large glove with sharpened fingers left behind, an iron claw in their words, like something a madman would wear. And when the passage they were looking down earlier begins to churn out a murky gray substance, they get out of there quick before anything else gets a chance to appear. That's a lot of unexplained events to have happen in one tunnel. Mysteries I don't think they were ready to solve. Maybe they heard someone's last moments before being taken away down that small passage, and whatever was down there was probably coming for them next. Published by Mindzoga in April of 2013, the uploader writes, while riding in huge forest accidentally found a secret base. It is completely deserted in one of the spookiest places I have ever been. The uploader was biking across a dirt road through Lithuania when he came across this base. The video shows derelict buildings on either side of the road, having long been abandoned. It's hard to tell who or what the buildings once housed, but there's plenty of them. Soon the bikers entered a more wooded area, where he decides to go off-road with his bike. He comes across a triangular building built into the ground. There's also a deep hole in the concrete, and a concrete slab set to the side with something, possibly a pipe entering the hole. The biker approaches the dark triangular building. Inside there's only rubble and darkness. He strolls around the area and notes that one of the tree-like hidden underground ventilation chimneys lay on the ground. After driving a bit further, he comes across another of these triangular buildings. Upon closer inspection, the inside of the building is filled with small rooms. In the distance, he hears something that sounds like a bang, which adds to the creepy ambiance of these remains of a facility. He comes across yet another triangular building, where he notices a large ring on the ground, which he believes to be an underground silo cover. This place may have once been the headquarters of a Russian facility, but now it's nothing more than a ghost town of deserted buildings. Which do you think is more eerie? Ready to hear what a real demonic possession sounds like? In December of 2022, police intervention was called to a village in Poland when a woman suspected of possession had barricaded herself in the attic. After trying to convince the woman to come down, this happens. When the police try to approach her, she gets aggressive. By the YouTuber's account, this woman did not previously suffer from any mental health or personality disorders and was not under the influence of any substances.
Kurwa, do tej pory mam dreszcze, to oglądam.
Ona jest nad nami u góry, od góry coś widzi.
Yet she continues throwing stuff at them and roaring demonically, despite not seeing the victim. This is some of the most authentic possession footage I've ever witnessed. I hope the police were able to get the woman the help she needs.
To ona tak warczy?
Number 13. Basements are built to house all the evils of the world. This basement is no exception. Published by YouTuber Mr. Vujade in February of 2012, this frightening basement monster will scare the living daylights out of you. The short clip sees our protagonist heading downstairs into a creepy dark basement. As he slowly searches the space, it appears empty, apart from a few piles of storage items, some bicycles, the usual suspects in a basement. But then suddenly he turns, which is when he is confronted by this. "I'm never going down there again," the YouTuber writes. Who can blame him? I don't think I could ever work up the courage to explore that basement. A group of kids are hanging out at a park in New York when a much older man strolls through their group no less than 3 times. In his left hand is what appears to be some kind of small bag with a tightly wrapped camera lens sticking out the middle. The camera is held low and pointed at the teens as he walks by, and I could be wrong, but it looks like he might be trying to stare at someone out of the corner of his eye without alerting their suspicions. Finally, after standing in the middle of the crowd without moving for over 30 seconds, one of the teens calls him out for his allegedly shady behavior. Watch how quickly he bolts and tell me if you think he was up to something no good.
No, you're really off here. I don't know that.
This video is undoubtedly real, and all we can do is hope this man was eventually brought to justice. Matt Petrez thinks this dark and empty hotel elevator looks strange, but he doesn't want to take the stairwell, so he gets on anyway. It's a long and creepy ride in total darkness that does not end well. Matt knows he has made a mistake as soon as the doors shut, but it's too late to do anything other than stare at the numeric red panel as it counts down the floors. Then on the 5th floor, this happens. Matt claims the elevator stopped moving and he was stuck for a long time. I guess he could have just covered the camera with his hand and made the story up, or maybe something bad really did happen on the 5th floor to cause this potentially paranormal elevator ride. A person checks their CCTV to catch whoever busted their side view mirror. It's on the sidewalk side, and therefore absolutely couldn't have been a car. The video does not end at all as expected when a phantom force snatches the mirror and gives it a twist. Then again, maybe a manufacturer's bolt or something came loose here at 2 seconds. Point is, I've never seen a car mirror do something like this all by itself before. Have you? Think you know the volatility of a poltergeist? Think again. Published by C's Crazy Crossroads, the YouTuber writes, "A rock comes off of the piano towards me. Absolutely insane capture." It is at the 2:47 mark. Apparently, this YouTuber hadn't caught the absolutely creepy capture until his viewers pointed it out to him after watching his original video, which is certainly surprising, as the paranormal behavior is quite obvious and alarming. As he walks through an abandoned church at night, a rock clearly comes flying at him from a nearby piano. You can see the rock actually fling towards him and ricochet off something behind him. Who or what threw this rock at Crazy Crossroads? I'd wager it was something or someone straight out of a nightmare. This miniature forest figure has viewers puzzled. Posted on TikTok by Satpam Horror, a small Barbie-sized creature was captured walking at the edge of the forest. Watch closely.
Ada tuyul, wah. Gila.
The figure looks just like a human in miniature. What is it though? I'm not sure what this humanoid creature could be, but its movements do not look animated, and it seems to blend well with the setting. Any ideas? Leave them in the comment. Ohio's most haunted house is aptly known as Shadowman Manor. Stephen Dillon from YouTube channel Haunted Nights head to the 19th century home to investigate. They request some communication, and the spirits oblige.
Yeah.
A little later, they hear a humming noise.
You hear that? I couldn't tell what that was. Yeah. Can't tell where it came from though. Hello?
Then, while they're listening back to a recording, they hear a thud live.
What was that? You didn't hear that thud?
Like in this room over here. I couldn't tell where it came from. There was a lot of movement though. That was to my right. A lot of movement.
Down in the basement, another unexplained bang is followed by a disembodied voice.
That was like a voice. Do you know what year it is? Is it 2023 for you?
The activity in this house is subtle but chilling. I wouldn't want to pull an overnighter in this haunted place. You never know what might attach itself to you here. Number 7. Elton Mene Severo posted this video in January of 2006 of an unexpected visitor while playing with his webcam. This dude is being watched by an otherworldly creature from his doorway. Unbeknownst to him, you can see the outline of the figure lurking and lurching creepily in the hallway before it vanishes into the darkness. When this guy finally notices the figure in his webcam, he gets up to investigate, and he's never seen or heard from again. I made that last part up. I have no idea what this investigation turned up, but I do know one thing. I sure wouldn't want to run into whatever that thing was in the darkness. This is what happens when your doll comes to life. Posted on the Ghosts subreddit by Redditor Enigma's Light 209, who writes, "Years ago my sister had a Dora doll. However, we never put batteries in it because at the time we couldn't afford a lot of stuff. My sister was singing and playing with the doll. Not noticing the doll turns its head to look at her. The clip is creepy enough to give you nightmares. The user's sister is in the bathroom, singing and playing at the sink. Her doll is perched beside her, motionless and staring off to the right. About 15 seconds in, the doll's head suddenly turns, looking directly at the camera and into our souls. Nothing more happens in the video, but the way the doll's head snaps around is reminiscent of a bad Child's Play-like scenario. My advice, destroy that doll immediately. Fire would probably be the best." A group of ghost hunters called PXTV go deep in the Wombwell Woods, a haunted forest in the UK where many people sadly go to take their lives. They split up to cover maximum ground, and one of them, Steve, finds a spot he deems suitable to begin an EVP session, which stands for Electronic Voice Phenomenon. He sets up his EVP box and asks any spirits nearby to make a light go on. When it does, he asks for 2 lights, but gets this verbal warning instead.
Can you make 2 lights light up? Ovulus has just said run.
But something descends upon Steve before he gets a chance to do as told. I didn't exactly see anything, but Steve says that he was pushed out of the way by something nearby. And when he looks at his EVP box, the translator displays the word run written in all capitals. I'm not sure if there's any way to tamper with these devices and make them say pre-programmed messages or not, but assuming this video really is unaltered, then the evidence is all right there to see. Way of Vlogs is a YouTuber with a hidden talent that he's only recently begun to share with the world, a skill that he says only takes patience and practice to master. With a burst of mental energy, he can make a can roll towards him. Or maybe he pushed the table to make the can roll forward and yelled to cover up the noise.
No strings whatsoever. So you can tell, see? Nothing attached to it. No magnets inside. So you can see him shaking it around, no magnets.
I personally think it might have been the latter, but watch again and tell me what you see. Next, he makes the object fall over without touching it. There could be a fishing wire in his hand, but if so, it should show up easily against his black clothes, and it does not, at least not as far as I can tell. He definitely doesn't push on the table this time either. Still, if he could have made the object fall the other way, then it would show he was not using a fishing wire once and for all. I don't know about you, but at this point I'm still uncertain. So I guess people must have been saying he was using a string, because in the next video he holds his hands out to show he is not using one at all. However, as one commenter pointed out, he could have a string wrapped around his toe or something. It does kind of look like he might be moving his foot, but it's hard to say. But when he shows the cup without any hesitation, it makes what he says seem kind of legit.
No, just make sure that there isn't any strings or anything involved. Look. I'll use my shirt.
I don't really analyze many videos like this because I don't necessarily believe in them, but vlogs like this are enough to make me wonder. Give me your thoughts about this subject and tell me if you think this is fake or if he's able to somehow move objects through sheer will. Another crew enters the woods, not to make peace with the paranormal there, but to provoke it. Posted on the very spooky video subreddit by Enrique Glue, this crew came across a witch in the woods and they decided to test her powers. While wandering through the woods, they spotted something creepy to say the least. Far off, amongst the trees and brush, a creepy figure is caught in the spotlight of their torch. The pale figure has long dark hair and is wearing all black. She simply stands there motionless as they set their eyes on her. She watches them as they watch her. They pull their flashlights and camera away, but when they move back toward her, she is still there, watching them. They cast their lights on her for a while. She stays still and silent. They attempt to address her, but she doesn't respond. One of them throws something at the witch. You can tell his aim was on point, as the being instantly falls over. They then run like wild out of the woods. After this encounter, I kinda hope the witch caught up with them. A janitor is closing up a restaurant in San Francisco called The Chapel, which is said to be haunted by the ghost of a small girl. As soon as he is done locking the door, something tries to leave and then runs away. If she was afraid of getting locked in, why didn't she bang on the door to be let out? Also, how come she didn't say anything when all of the lights turned off? On the contrary, if this was instead a real person trying to sneak in, then she probably wouldn't immediately try to open the door because it could set off an alarm. I guess she could just be making sure the janitor really is leaving. But since this restaurant is said to be haunted by the ghost of a small girl, I believe this could be her. This is not your average hanger-on. While hanging in this creepy forest, note in the first video, this is a 5-man crew. And yet, in the second video, a 6th person is lurking in the background, and he's acting very creepy. What is that dude doing back there? Is he part of the group, or do they even realize that he's there? Even if he is a member of the crew, I'd say they should keep an eye on him. His behavior seems a little bizarre to say the least. YouTube team The Ouija Brothers are exploring the haunted whale's house in this scary short, and they call this the scariest moment of their lives. They start to feel something right away.
Now, this is meant to be one of the most haunted pubs in Wales, and I will say I'm on edge. It feels like something's going to happen.
When they ask the spirit a question, something moves.
Do you want to hurt my friend Stephen? There's got to be someone here. Whoa! The door just moved.
The door moved ridiculously.
One of them goes to check it out, and they're met with terror.
Oh, I feel nice up here. Hello?
It's time to leave.
Yeah, now I'm out.
I'm pretty sure the whale's house doesn't want them there, or if it does, it welcomes them to the other side. Gabby Licht has seen a ghost. Published in September of 2018, Gabby shares her ghost story while also showing footage she captured on camera. The scary video shows the door of her room opening and closing slightly, back and forth. She also says the knob is jiggling.
When I had a ghost experience, but I'll put the video here. You can kind of see the handle just like wiggling back and forth, and it's kind of weird. It didn't freak me out that bad, but it's kind of strange to have it on video. I showed my parents and it freaked my mom out, but I've had other stuff happen, so it's just kind of interesting to get that one on video. But this next one, I guess...
Gabby has been experiencing the paranormal for something like 8 years now, and this is just one event she captured on video. Is something trying to communicate with her? It sure seems that way to me. The big question is, what is it saying? Pripyat Amusement Park is an abandoned park in the Chernobyl region. It was abandoned before its planned grand opening after the meltdown that contaminated the area in 1986. Posted to TikTok by Edwin Calderon 608, this TikToker is wondering what this person is doing in the highly contaminated park. The deserted Ferris wheel looks particularly gloomy, standing still with no one on it. That is until the viewer zooms in on Google Earth to see a male figure standing in the service box beside the ride. The man isn't armored against the radiation that still pollutes the area. He is completely unprotected against it, leaving me to wonder if he's perhaps superhuman. Anyone want to risk a visit to ask him? No, that'd be a terrible idea. A YouTuber named Sunny Cooper has recorded a shadow moving back and forth that looks out of place. Maybe together we can figure out what this strange shadow belongs to. It starts out going one direction, then it comes back the other way. It almost looks like a rat or a small animal of some sort, but that still doesn't explain how it appears to instantly teleport across a large gap twice. I guess this could just be some sort of time-lapse editing, but something about the way the shadow moves looks like it was recorded in real time. Let me know if you have any explanation for what's happening here. This house of music is turning into a somber melody. YouTuber Max from Paranormal Point pulls an overnighter in the abandoned music house, and it has no more lullabies. Max quickly senses something is there. After a while, whatever is possessing this house is impacting him too.
Мне сейчас стало не по себе, у меня закружилась голова, резко слабость в теле. Я не знаю, что это происходит. Вообще я себя странно чувствую.
And it appears that there's something behind him. An EVP session produces a message from the spirits.
Главное, не бойся их.
And we discover what this house is.
Этот дом портал для мертвых душ.
That's not all either.
Теперь их много.
According to the spirit, there are a lot of souls here. I think Max better take that as his cue to leave before he becomes one of them. Sometimes paranormal investigators get into the biz because they've experienced their own hauntings. That's true of the YouTube team, the New Reality Paranormal, who are investigating Sean's haunted home in this scary video. While listening closely in the home, they hear a strange EVP.
What was that?
That was something outside.
The voice is indiscernible, but it's there. Later, they again hear a disembodied voice.
So again, we're gonna add another piece of equipment.
Did you just say something? Did you just say something?
Add another piece of equipment.
Right before, no, dude, I just heard a hey.
But one of the creepiest captures is during a spirit box session when this woman's voice comes through.
He'll catch us.
It sounds like she's saying, "Don't leave me." I would feel sorry for her if she didn't sound so spooky. I'd leave here ASAP. Sorry, not sorry. Number 30. In a creepy abandoned place, YouTuber Alberto Del Arco captures a passing ghost on camera. First, they hear a distant scream.
¿Oíste?
Como un grito de una niña.
Sí, sí, lo oíste.
Un grito muy agudo.
Muy agudo, muy agudo.
Y se escuchó,
Sí.
Then they spy this dark figure at the end of a corridor. While the figure is too far away and indistinct to definitely confirm that it's a ghost, you can see that it does move. Someone is there with them, ghost or living being. I wouldn't stick around to find out. A YouTuber named Stromedy continues to catch bizarre encounters on his drone. This time he drives out 3 hours to a random field to see what's out there. He and his friend Ashton are expecting to find bears, but instead they chance upon a man walking all by himself, who immediately breaks into a run through the snow upon being spotted. They follow him for over a minute while he tries to hide. Then, in an unexpected twist, he blasts the drone out of the sky.
I can even hear. How far away is that?
Yo, I think he hit it.
Yo, he just hit the drone,
bro.
Dude, what the?
It's black. It just went black.
Guys, the screen just went black.
The muzzle fire looks like it could be special effects, but let me know what you think. Stromedy believes that this man was trespassing and took out their drone to avoid getting followed and reported to police. If this is real, then they most likely will not be able to catch him because his face is fully covered and they never find his car or his hideout. This one's a head scratcher. TikToker elkakoi.tv shares this mysterious video that's a total nightmare. Watch around the side of the door.
Is that? What the was that?
At first, it looks to me like a ghost peeking out sideways at the guy, but TikTokers are floating other theories as to what the heck that was.
Bro, what was that?
Well, I think Cap like Caleb could be right that it was this mirror. It's the reflection in the mirror that's throwing people off. That could be anything, but to me it looks like someone covering their abnormally large face with their hands. What do you think it is? You have probably heard that name, as La Llorona has become quite the legend, especially in Mexico and Latin America, where this video has been getting a ton of attention. This clip, which has been racking up millions of views, appears to be a forest cam video. You can see a figure slowly move across the forest with very slow movements, while many have claimed this is the infamous legend. The flickering effect of the video makes me question the authenticity of it. Nevertheless, even the slightest possibility of this video being real is enough to make it impossible to look away from. This individual sees strange sightings in the sky, creepy stuff hidden in front of our eyes, as she puts it. It would be easy to dismiss her notions as outlandish, except for one thing. She can back up her claims. You see, Sheila has caught weird things on camera. She zooms into the trees to find a creepy pale face with round black eyes staring back at her from the treetops. This could be a balloon or something else stuck in the tree, but it's far from the only bizarre thing she's caught on camera near her house. A short time later, she finds this odd light not too far from where she saw the face. Two other lights are spotted in the sky in an odd formation that soon blinks away. Together they do seem to, once connected, possibly form the outer perimeter of a much larger disc-like object. What are these strange silent objects that glow and grow? The unexplained lights do not look like a helicopter and have no trail of a spotlight, so what could they be? A A warehouse worker gets wrapped up in some wires and stumbles. His grip loosens at the scariest moment, and he almost dumps a heavy ladder on the head of a person who is looking down on their phone. He doesn't really get out of the way in time, but the ladder turns in midair and thankfully misses him. Ironically, the person was on their phone trying to program the very same security system, which caught his near demise on camera. I'm really glad he's okay, because he was not wearing a helmet and would have gotten seriously messed up. This paranormal crew investigated the Clearwater Demon House in Reno, Nevada. And judging by this communication with the spirits, dark energy is here.
See these bones?
Break, please. O-I.
Break, please. You said, look at these bones. And then it goes, break, please.
That seems like a clear message. The team later sees a figure on their Connect device.
There are two, like just on the edge of the stairs. There they are.
Right.
Oh.
There?
No, it was over there. It was right here by the stairs, and then it just appeared back over there.
But that's not all. They soon capture an even more ominous presence on camera. Watch the window as this crew member enters the house.
I thought I saw some kind of black shadow behind that window, but I didn't even realize until I reviewed the footage that I'd captured probably one of the best shadow figures I've ever seen.
Even more interesting, the camera from inside the room captures the opposite side of the window, and there's nothing there.
What was that? I don't think that was a shadow. It was on the other side of that window.
They didn't fully comprehend seeing the shadow figure in the moment, but watching the footage back sent chills up their spine. I know it did mine. After seeing this, I don't think I would have entered that house ever again. William Davies has been documenting all of the paranormal activity around his bedroom for quite some time. January 25th, 2014 is when he proves to himself his bedroom is haunted, first with a creepy unexpected EVP caught on tape, followed by this hands-on ghost encounter.
Stopped. Whoa, something just grabbed me then. Ooh.
6 months later, the paranormal activity is ramped up considerably. He hears noises all around his room quite often. Even during the day, it sounds like someone invisible is walking around. Objects fall off the shelf in plain sight, with William Davies clearly standing a few feet away. He might have done it himself with a string, but honestly, I don't see one. Do you?
Oh, this is not normal, man.
4 months later, he notices his pantry cupboard refuses to stay closed, but only for one night.
No thanks. No.
And if you listen close, at 2 minutes and 49 seconds, you hear a woman's voice cry outright before the door opens.
I saw him.
The more he refuses to believe, the harder the ghost pushes open the door. What looks to be an oversized bird slowly turns to reveal a human-shaped head. Listen and try to translate if you can.
Mahit, kipiti sa onda.
está viendo eso?
At approximately 12 seconds into the video, the legs and abdomen appear to be of an insect. At 13 seconds, the fully outstretched wings have a ridged webbing that closely resembles a bat. Any guesses as to what this is? Davo Velkrat explores an abandoned building on YouTube Live when his expression is interrupted by a distinctly human voice, or at least something doing their best impression of one. Eventually, Davo tracks the noise to a single room not far away. He waits for another minute, hesitant to go any further, and sees a face poke around the corner, but when he rushes in, the person is gone. A closer look at the room shows that there are no windows or doors that they could have escaped through from where they were positioned. There simply should be no way for them to disappear, and yet they are gone, leaving Davo Velkrat wondering what the heck is going on. If you have a fear of heights, you might want to step away slowly from the edge of this video. El Camino del Rey, or the King's Little Path, is a high walkway in Spain that traverses a narrow gorge in El Charro near Malaga. Originally built to allow workers at a nearby hydroelectric power plant to transport materials, the walkway was first constructed at the turn of the 20th century. 3 feet in width and 330 feet above the river below, the walkway twists and turns around the steep walls of the gorge in a way that will make your head spin. It has been partially closed for more than 10 years after it fell into disrepair. In fact, it was once called the world's most dangerous walkway, as 5 passings occurred. Across only 2 years, renovations allowed the walkway to be reopened in 2015. Going back to the original, by 2006, much of the path had deteriorated. Several sections of the original concrete had completely collapsed, leaving large open gaps only traversable by the steel beams. The handrails were pretty much non-existent, with only a safety wire in its steed. Regardless, Daredevil still walked the King's Path, and passings occurred regularly. Published in March of 2011 by AM, this video shows what it was like to walk the King's Path when it was in disrepair. The crumbling concrete stairs are guarded only by a short length of handrail. As the hiker makes his way upward, you can see the drop below is no joke. A single misplaced step can throw you hundreds of feet to your demise. Despite the risk, you can see why people put themselves in harm's way. The solitude surrounded by the glittering river below and the jagged rocks of the gorge is an experience worth having, not to mention the adrenaline rush of being a misstep away from passing on. Still, if your heart is pounding just by watching this video, I wouldn't recommend it. I certainly wouldn't do it either. This creepy encounter was posted to Reddit by Ghosty Phase. A Ring doorbell camera captured a young woman's stalker. The woman says she was followed home from Walmart, and her stalker showed up on her doorstep. At first, the man appears to be looking for his own keys, but then he fails to find any and peers around the corner of the house. Many are wondering if the creep left something for his victim. Although we can agree that this is beyond creepy and edging into full-on horror, I do think this footage reminds us not to trust anyone. You never know when you could cross paths with someone like this. While being given a tour of a haunted house, this lady saw the haunting with her very eyes, watched the dark doorway behind the group,
What? Oh my. What, Emily?
Are you alright?
What's wrong?
Are you alright?
The cameraman apparently didn't see the ghost at the time. Only the lady to the left saw it.
The door slammed shut.
What? Oh my.
She later has a panic attack, describing what she witnessed.
No, I saw it. I saw it.
Are you alright?
No, there was a girl in a blue dress walking towards us from that room.
Which room?
Do you see it? I certainly do. It's one of those things that's got everyone talking. This video was recovered from a cell phone left behind by a hotel guest who is in an extra hurry to leave for some reason. He's taking a random video when some chilling moments are caught in his hotel room.
Just me and Aunt traveling. Watch us.
A dark shadow passes in front of him without a sound. The way he was talking out loud to himself makes it sound like he was talking to himself when the mysterious figure makes him gasp out loud and drop the phone. This situation wouldn't be too hard to fake. All you'd need is someone to walk in front of you and act scared, so it might not be real, but if this footage was really found by the next guest, like the description claims, then that's beyond creepy. This abandoned asylum apparently doubles as a site for satanic worship. YouTuber Exploring with Angelo is taken on a terrifying randonautica here, and things escalate quickly.
Do you hear something? I do.
After arriving at the abandoned asylum, they start to get freaked out.
Jeez. Oh my bro. Oh my Angelo.
They think there's someone inside with them.
Who's in there?
And then they come across this, a satanic ritual all laid out.
Oh my god, that's the smell, bro. Oh, dude.
Apparently, whatever they found smells putrid, and frankly, if I was them, I wouldn't be messing with it. After experiencing a slew of paranormal activity at the Randolph County Asylum in Winchester, Indiana, Billy Gerber, a custodian, began recording every shift. One day he is sweeping the basement when this noise fills the room. Do you believe him after watching this? Also, check out how a shadow passes directly over him as soon as the voice says "help me." It's there for a split second, then gone. What lurks in your alley in the middle of the night? This video may surprise you. Published to YouTube by Tasklock in March of 2021, the security footage was recorded on the 30th of December 2020 at around 4 in the morning. An empty road with a few motorcycles and bicycles parked along each side, still in the darkness, at least for the moment. Suddenly, someone invisible decides to take this bike out for a spin. The motorcycle abruptly pulls out into the road, turning in place. At one point, it slows in its turning, then jerks forward and continues in its path before falling over on the side in the middle of the road. Could this just be something mechanical malfunctioning in the bike, or did a ghost realize he didn't have enough momentum mid-launch? Morgan Adams is a popular YouTuber who doesn't ordinarily focus on paranormal content at all, so when she recently suspected that her house was haunted, you know I had to take a look. Let's go over the evidence and see if her suspicions are correct. She claims to hear tapping and scratching on the walls, which could be an animal, but then there's whispers too. When this happens, she uses Snapchat and almost always detects a second face nearby. She has named the spirit Angie, and it seems to have become quite attached. Angie often responds to her own name.
Angie! Oh my god! Angie, you have a lot of new friends that would like to say hi. Oh my...
Though Snapchat could be mistaking the shelf behind her for a winking face, and these two objects on the wall for eyes, Angie typically lurks around the corner of the house reserved for overnight visitors, coincidentally the same area where her dog Ollie absolutely refuses to go. Even with the promise of a treat, Ollie will only allow himself to go so far before he refuses to budge. Some dogs have trouble keeping their balance on hardwood floors and can actually develop a fear of them over time. I thought that could be Ollie's deal because he puts one paw on the wood and stops at 9 minutes and 8 seconds, but at 8 minutes and 52 seconds he has no problem walking on the same type of floor, so that can't be why. I think Morgan Adams could be giving a verbal command for Ollie to sit when she says okay at 9 minutes and 8 seconds. You tell me if Ollie is doing a trick or if he senses something and is too nervous to go forward.
Come on. Okay, come on.
I don't think it's fake because then she tells him to come on and he still won't move. And when Morgan gets to the end of the hall, she hears a noise and shudders. Plus, Ollie isn't the only animal acting weird. Her cat will freeze at the door like someone is on the other side, and Morgan even hears knocking sometimes.
Cut it out right now. Stop!
There's never anything there, and yet the cat stares at the wall as if something has its attention.
Literally, I'm gonna freak out if you don't stop. Oh my, turret orbs, literally.
An orb of light also flies in the direction that her cat is staring. Odd indeed. Oh, and there's also this strange Snapchat photo taken in the middle of the night. It could be something photoshopped, but I see something more to it. To the left of the shadow person, I see a face on the wall and another peeking out from behind the covers. It almost looks like the exact same from a photo taken at the mountain pass, where Angie the spirit first followed Morgan home. And if you're wondering where Angie is in the photo, check out Morgan's shoulder. The dark hair is not hers. Finally, one night, her dad lets it slip that the property was built near an old burial ground. Tell me if you think he is telling the truth here or not.
Do you think our house is haunted?
Nope.
The way he pauses and looks away makes me think he could have been trying to avoid saying anything that could make his daughter worry any more than she already has been. So is all of this real or fake? I'm 50-50 on this one, so your opinions will help me decide. Thank you so much for getting me to 50,000 subscribers here on my Clips channel. If you want to support, please press that subscribe button. Let's get to 60,000 subscribers next. Thank you.